themselves. Thank you. Mr. Juve, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I must start by apologizing for bringing you people back today. When we had our meeting on Wednesday, some of you had asked if our Friday class is going to hold, and I said no, we were not going to have a class until next week. But then last minute, we could not do but take advantage of a situation. And of course, Fatu yesterday had the Semester Avenue with the BALDER family, in the person of Mr. DEMBA BALDER, who is in front of you, and Aisatu. And of course, asked if we can have him come and share some words of wisdom, and he said yes. Since DEMBA will be leaving soon, this is his available time, and we have to create time for him. And I'm glad that a good number of you are able to make it. I want to welcome a gentleman, somebody that knows the Gambian talent story, because when we started Gambian Talent Promotion, when I started it in 2006, Seattle was one of the first places I came to, and at the time he was very much involved with what is happening in Gambia, because at the time him and some other colleagues had set up something called the Gainapo newspaper. And of course, their mission was to actually educate the Gambians about what was happening in the Gambia, especially diaspora Gambians. They have contributed immensely towards disseminating information to the Gambians around the world. We contributed greatly to the change of government that took place. And we have been long-time partners. I remember at the time, we specialized mostly in culture and entertainment. When I toured with Singate, aka Freaky Joe, to the United States, I would write articles and stories about Gambian talents, Gambian musicians, Gambian culture. I would write poems and stuff and send it to Gainapo, and they will publish those things. This was in 2005, 2006, 2007. In addition to that, we have partnered and did some collaborations here and there. But then DEMBA had stood to the cost and was very passionate about getting Gambia out of dictatorship or the regime of tyranny. We all know, or will see, now a lot of people getting their chests and claiming they fought for Gambia. They made Gambia what it is. Despite all odds, I would not be ashamed to say that DEMBA is somebody who was very passionate about seeing Gambia out of the hands of former President Yahya Jammeh. And as a result, him and myself never saw eye to eye. Why? Because we did not specialize in politics at the time and until now. But then, at the time, all that DEMBA did was politics, for the most part, when it comes to running Gainapo. And he was very passionate about it. As a result, he labeled and saw some of us as people who were for Yahya Jammeh. DEMBA was very proud to fight for Gambia, and we've had some differences, but nonetheless, those differences have been settled over the years. We both agreed, we both agreed that we had a common difference. Only one person was dividing us, which was Yahya Jammeh. When Yahya Jammeh left, DEMBA and I became best of friends, Munek Kasmo Koto, Kasmo Mentor, and we have a very good relationship. He is one of the first Gambians that came here to Seattle, Washington. Myself, I have the opportunity to come and live in Seattle. Where I live, there is one of the first Gambians that came over here, built families, and did things that we could learn from, and eventually we came here. When I came here in 2006 with Singate, Rikido, I remember him inviting us to his house and his wife prepared a very delicious meal for us at the time. We exchanged a lot of ideas and information. I still remember those days. Guess what? Mr. Youth was your age at the time. I was in my early 20s in 2006, either 21 or 22 years old, which is what most of you would know.
Gamsobis in focus. with Kalilu Banjang every Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m.
You want to know about the Gambia entertainment industry. You want to know the existing policies and programs of the arts and culture sector. You want to know about the governance and management of the arts associations. The program will throw a fresh light on the entertainment industry in focus. We will touch so many angles about the cultural sector, the opportunities and challenges, and interrogate them, and most importantly, offer solutions.
On growth and reality and what is happening. We started as an online newspaper, just like then Apple. We added an online radio and now an online television, in addition to the school that we've established to actually tap, nurture, and train young Gambian talent, which is all of you that are sitting there today. Over here in Seattle, we are registered as a 501c3 non-profit organization that is equally doing similar things and supporting the Gambian community here in Seattle. Every year we organize our back-to-school program, an annual back-to-school program for the youth or young people or students here, during which we support families with backpacks, school supplies, food, teach our kids Gambian culture and tradition. And DEMBA BALDER and his family have been a supporter of this project, including this year or last year, that they will support us, they will patronize us and give us some money that we can use to actually spend towards organizing this event. It is my call. We had our differences, it has been settled, but I am glad to introduce to you a man of wisdom, somebody who has fought for the Gambia, somebody who has done a lot. Take your pens and papers and be willing to listen to him. We tell you, when you come here, if you can listen, you will learn. We will bring you several people who will touch your lives in a very positive way, who will inspire you. So I have the honor and pleasure to introduce Mr. Balde, and I welcome you to the little corner that I have struggled to establish with a zero project over the years. I mean, you've known Gambian Talents to be a media house. You've seen the work that we've been doing, Mr. Balde, but this is one of the things that we've been doing. It's not out there as much as what you see if you come here is very different from what is out there. We tap, nurture, and promote young talents. The people you are sitting there, sitting in front of you, and those who are not here, for the past 3 years, I'm glad to tell you that we have trained nothing less than 100 young people in the area of multimedia, from graphic design, web design, journalism, videography, marketing, and even some accounting work. We've employed a good number of them. Some have actually been employed in other institutions, and the rest are still here learning. These are young people who probably finished school and are sitting home, don't have much going on for them. Some who were attending or are still attending the University of the Gambia or other tertiary institutions where they are learning some of the skills that we are teaching, but they only learn the theory at those places, and we are teaching them the practicals or showing them the practicals. And some actually who dropped out of school or have never had formal education, and some who have been through the irregular migration, the back way, the either return.
Gamsobis in focus with Kalilu Banjang every Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m.
We have all witnessed so many people have passed through this institution, from the vice president, who have also been our guests and also lectured some of us. We have people like the Buhari Gasavas and other people that have been in the Europe or United States, the likes of my very own brother, the tourists and all that. But now here we are, we have Mr. Balde and Mr. Juf have mentioned a great person. So Mr. Balde, we're here, we want to hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pausman. Thank you very much, everybody. Nice to meet you, all of you. This is beautiful. This is encouraging. As Pausman said, our story came very far. We started out very, very far. We came a long way. But this is very, very impressive. You know, I in fact did not know he was doing this level of work. I know, you know, he has discussed these things sometimes, but the level of involvement of young people, especially women, now this is encouraging. This is really great. You know, majority of you here are women, no disrespect to the boys, you know, but when we lift the women up along the way, we're lifting society all along together. You know, as they say, if you educate a woman, you educate the world. You know, that is really incredible. So yes, I mean, as Pastor said, I wasn't prepared for any lectures or something. I want this to be more or less like an interactive session so that we can discuss, get to know each other, learn from each other. You guys learn from me and I learn from you. You know, I am born and brought up in Gambia, struggled like all of you. Used to wait for lift right here, going to Banjo. You know, obviously I'm from the provinces. Was born and brought up in Jara, grew up in Nyamina. Jara in particular, Pakaliba. It's a small village, Nyunfulazi. We move around, right? So I was born in a small village called Sare Juta or Juta Kunda. So from there, our people transferred to Nyamina, Nana, where I completed my primary school. I went to Jaram Primary School, where I completed. I went to Armitage High School to do my high school. Armitage, obviously, boarding school. A lot of you heard about Armitage, you know, it's a great school. And then from there, I worked as a school teacher, primary school teacher. But I was fresh from high school, did not know how to teach. You know, it was more or less a babysitting for me, teaching primary too, you know, handle hale yundawi. That was not my field. So I went to work at Civil Aviation, you know, at the control tower. That's where I worked before I left for the US. In terms of my background, I'm more of a business person. You know, I have a business background. I went to college in business, but I also was very much interested in multimedia, in media work. Even at Armitage, I was the president of the Current Society, we call it, which is the, you know, the group responsible for reporting news, you know, every morning. So I was responsible for that. So I became interested in media and multimedia because, you know, when you're in media, you can educate a whole lot of people that you don't even know. You never met them. You know, so that's one of my interests why I wanted to get into it. You can influence a whole lot of people. But before I proceed on further on that one, I wanted to really thank Gambia Talents Promotion, Pa Usman and your team, you know, Pa Chamba, obviously. You guys are doing an excellent job. You know, you're doing an excellent job. The education that you are offering to these kids, you know, or even to grown-ups here, that is something that nobody can pay for. You cannot pay for. You cannot put a monetary value on the amount of education that you give out, especially when you train people to have skills. They go on life to pass that skills over to their children and to society. So this is one of the best things that you can do, is to contribute into society, giving back. You know, obviously I know Pa Usman, he narrated story about the struggle, right? You know, everybody knew that Gambia was at a very, very difficult stage. You know, you know, kuneka, you know, a family. Either you are a victim or your family member is a victim or your friends, parents are victims. And Lusabonduru, we had a government, our own government. It wasn't somebody from outside. It was our own government that we pay, that we are responsible of, that was actually hiring people on our own expenses to threaten us as citizens. If something like that happens in a country, it is the responsibility of citizens of that country to stand up and make sure that it is defended. We're all free. We're freeborn. We're not slaves. We were all born here. We are very, very proud of this country. We all have our backgrounds, soon parents, you know, so hamon. Legi nga taw in Gambia ngane man ma mom dekabi. Soon mami time bobu nonu, nobody dare stand up and say man ma mom dekabi. Te hamlo de do dega. Right. So I mean, you know, so that's the story of the Gambia. You know, a lot of you are very, very young. You were perhaps born, you know, during that time, right? Some of you are 20, some of you are even less than 20. You were born during that period. So you didn't know a lot better. Yeah, all you knew was you were brought up, you know, in the government and all that kind of stuff, the slogans and all that. But we grew up here, we went outside and we saw what was happening there and what was happening in this country. We could compare and contrast. And we knew that our country was at stake. We were in the US. We were not at immediate threat. Nobody was going to arrest me over in the US or send anybody to kill me. You know, perhaps they would go after my family, but I wasn't even worried about that. Why yen mi nekon fi and your parents, everybody was scared. So do get taxita, munlo watara. You were so scared. And what were you scared of? Your own government. Your own people that you hired, you're paying for them. Those are the people that you are scared of. Those are the people who are hunting after you. Lolo we thought, hey, being in the US was just one thing. Why we have a responsibility, no matter how far you go, you have a responsibility to make sure that Sadekabi, I'm freedom. At least everybody is free to explore their own talent. Everybody is free to buy your own house. Everybody is free to drive their own car. Everybody is free to get their own education. Ganeka, whatever you want to be in a country, without your government interfering in your own personal space. That's what we were fighting. We were fighting for that freedom and that dignity. And I know that we had a lot of differences and all that kind of stuff. But people went into it for different reasons. Others went in it because same families they didn't attack on or they didn't imprison or you file from the job. Some people went in there because their families were killed. Some people went in there because they wanted a job. Some people went in there because they're purely patriotic citizens. They wanted our country to be free. So the struggle has been around for a very long time, and people went in it for different reasons. But we needed to do it as citizens of the Gambia. You know, we wanted to say, you know, as Pausman, I was very, very passionate about it. Very, very passionate. Because every single day, then they call around 2 a.m. in the morning. Do sangam Japan anko. Ki disappear na. Rain anko. You know, a lot of people think of this, oh, this wasn't true. This wasn't true. Gumunko. Why we had people right in the president's office passing information to us. Then and pictures. People in the media saw that. But the media was the biggest victim in this country. All the journalists pretty much were driven out of this country. Some of them were killed right on this way here. Did the Hydran orders were gone down just for doing their work. Just doing your work, like you guys are young journalists and all that kind of stuff. Somebody just take a gun and just blew it in your head, just to kill you, so to silence you. The journalism can do that. It's complete voluntary as a patriot. Nobody elected you into office to be a journalist. Nobody will pay your salary. Yeah, you have to do it, but at the same time, you are accountable to the people. You are accountable to yourself and you are accountable to the people. So the people who have no sacrifice go into journalism. It's a special profession. It's a special profession that you go into, and you have to be committed to go into it. So that's why some of us, when we went away, wow, we're going to mount on these multimedia platforms, and we're going to educate as many people as possible. So educated nini rek, so nini hame funjoge, landline don, and all that, they'll be able to do a lot of things for themselves. So that is, you know, the background for the media. I went into the media, I went into the struggle because I thought that our country was a threat. Understand? But there were a lot of things as well. There is a lot of things we wanted to educate more people. We wanted to make sure that more people were engaged. They know what was going on. Because Komnu ask what you can do for your country, not what your country can do for you. JFK, you know, former president of the US, ask what you can do for your country, not what your country can do for you. So in other words, what can you do to give back to your country? Because so they get government, you know the government. We elected those people, we entrust them, we provide them with security, we provide them with transportation, we provide them with everything. So you know the government, in other words. So what can we contribute back into our society instead of everybody just asking the government to do something for you? What can we do for our government? So some of us, that's why we got into it. But going back to the story of Gambia talent and you know, obviously, as Pausman said, they were doing this to promote music, young people. So you know, we actually, the goal was setting up even our media. I wasn't one of the founders of Gainako, you guys saw it. I wasn't one of the founders, but I got into it after 2005. The Manyaun Fini visits in 2005, and I saw how people were being tortured in the NIA. I had friends in the NIA. I went there to visit. I saw how people were being chained and left for days. Mane, wow. So I saw that people were afraid. Even my own mom, when I was talking to her, she's like, everybody was afraid. Mane, wow, this is incredible. This is not the Gambia I was born in and I grew up in. That's what we knew in Gambia. But that came to a threat. So I'm like, wow, what can I do to change this? Maybe I may not be able to change it, but I'll be able to do my little effort. Or whatever I have, or maybe even educating people, I'll team up with those people to contribute my quota. Until death do us apart. Some of us put a soon back end to Dekabe. Because Dekabe subone, ñun doomi Gambie ñoo ko bonal. Dekabe su baaxee ñun doomi Gambians ñun ñoo ko baax. Ñun ñoo fa war a taxaw Pemba. So at the end of the day, yes, we can blame everybody. I come in here and I say, from the president all the way down, everybody is complaining about what's happening in the country. But change starts with us as citizens. Change starts with us. Nga wax ne man duma bribe ken. Man dama obey the law. Because if you go out here right now, everybody is leaving the road. Traffic get jammed up. You spend hours on the road. Recently, I don't know, maybe some of you are young, but you follow me on Facebook. If a society is disorderly and is disoriented, dysfunctional, society mamu dumuna dem. So citizens have to obey the law. So you as a your basic fundamental duty is to obey the law and to be a good citizen of the country. Look out, not only for yourself or for your family, but for other people as well. Because I'm not could tahon muna dem school, ben moto do tampon ci yombe. Somebody made sure that an environment was created for us to be able to go to school and our classrooms were protected. Somebody did that for us. So we owe that to our country, especially young people in this country. I see that 65% of the population in this country are all young. I see great potentials in this country. Great potentials. You know the story of the back way. Our young people, 14, 15, dying. Te luneka Europe, yalna sudurayaga. There are people who left here and went to America, people who went to UK, went to Japan, went to Italy, went to all the places. Nyonyu lulena dal every single day. Sunya kodon wa. You would think twice. It's not fine and dandy. It's not all fine. It's not all rosy. I had the same mentality when I was here. That soon if I'll be rich, or I'll be able to get great education. Yes, the opportunities are there, but not everybody can get through that opportunity. Not everybody can get through that. So when suma halate na sun domi, especially sun domi ndawi, ñu ngi hustle through the back way and pressing on the back way because of lack of hope. Hope is everything in life. Hope is everything in life. So ko America, you have a vision. You pursue your dreams every single day. Every single day. There are some things that you have control over in your life. There are some things that you don't have control over it. Yow no la war moy nga def sa effort. Do your effort with integrity, with dignity, with honesty, and with respect. So what defé lolu noonu. Everywhere you go, so xamé sa bop nga xam fi nga joggé, nga xam your family and your parents, you conduct yourself that way. That way. The road to success would be yours. You can be successful, and success comes in many, many ways. Lege, then I said, oh man, fila buga them. Oh, there's so many people who have so much money, or they have so much, I want to be that. But you also look behind you. Look underneath you. I'm not you, but you have the opportunity to go to school like you guys, or like all of us. They don't have it. They don't have that opportunity. So I'm a motto. I'm maybe a house. You're perhaps richer than 50% of the population in the world. There are people underneath you that wants to be where you are. So nga santa yalla ci lolu. Why coming back to our country, and then I'll talk about the business later. I don't know how much time I have. You know, and I want this to be a you know, like a Q&A, obviously. So, you know, I'm a media person, so much so talk a feeling about madam all evening, right?
Yeah,
I used to sit on the radio.
On YouTube, for people that are watching, I believe they would also will love to share experiences as
Absolutely.
well. We believe in sharing.
Absolutely.
So, but then before we go, can you just, everybody in 1 second, to just briefly introduce yourself, your name and what you were doing and where you were from. Like, what I mean where you were from is maybe, if you're from the back way, you can say, I passed through the back way. If you're not from the back way, you can say, I dropped from school. If you want to share.
Right.
If you don't want to share, it's
That's fine too.
So let's just start.
Yeah, let's start from.
My name is Awajam. I graduated from school in 2019. And after that, I was sitting for a whole year without doing nothing. So I come across a friend who told me about this Gambian Talents promotion. That's the time I came here and wrote the form, and then luckily I was called to come for an interview. So I came and do the interview and the orientation as well. So it was successful. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Aisha, please just stand.
Thank you, Asha.
Quickly, huh?
Yes, good afternoon, sir. My name is Aisha Tukuli. I'm a student of Inside Training Center studying journalism. Actually, I came to Gambian Talents TV a year ago, I think around last year, February. So when I came, I was given the opportunity to be on the screen. So now that I have my own platform that I normally interview young people, that's the Youth Bantala show.
Okay.
I normally interview young people and we discuss certain issues that are affecting young people in the country. Like you said, the young people constitute 67% of the country's population. So if they are not empowered, who will be empowered?
Absolutely.
So that was the reason why I was more of like, okay, like I came to Gambian Talent, why not I'll also speak on behalf of young people. So that's the reason I got the chance. Pausma gave me the chance, then I have my platform to, you know, talk about issues affecting young people and as well as to see situations how we are able to solve it. And also I am practically also the news anchor here and also a presidential correspondent.
Great. Congratulations.
So Mr. Mother will send you to Adam Abara, don't worry, okay? All right. This is how we quick.
Okay, good afternoon. Gambian Talents TV in 2019 during November, and I'm studying journalism. And now I'm hosting a show called the Selective Show, whereby I invite Gambian celebrities, because most of the Gambians don't know they are celebrities, especially the artists. All they see is the person on stage and what he thinks and everything. So I normally go to the person's home and then spend the whole day with the person for them to know their artist or their celebrity very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Binta Juba. Currently, I'm studying at MDI, studying gender-based violence. And then I'm referred here by Paus Manju, doing journalism. And then I'm dreaming it big. And thank you.
That's good. Thank you. Congratulations.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Musa Dahawa. I'm also from Progresses. I was graduated from Banana Senior Secondary School in 2018. And then that time I was engaging in business. I was a businessman. But doing business also, I was engaging myself in journalism, how to train myself to do news in Malinga. So I was engaging on such kind of things. So one of my natives told me, Alamin MCC, told me, why not you come to our institution, which is Gambian Talents TV. And then he told me also, I can give you our boss number, then you link with him, who is Mr. Paus Manju. And then I sent one of my news to Paus Manju also. He told, oh, you are very good to go. If somebody helps you, you are very passionate, you speak loud, so you are very good, you are good to go. So he also helped me for me to came here to have my interview and we do our orientation. So I was lucky to among those who are selected in for interns and do my journalism here. So now they are training me how to use in Mandinka in this institution. I'm very glad for doing that.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's great. Good job.
And by the way, feel free. If you want to speak Mandinka, you can speak Mandinka. If you want to speak Wolof, you can speak Wolof. If you want to speak Fula, he's very frequent in all this, okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ibrahim Keta. I'm from Jogan. I came to Gambian Talent in 2019. So I came here as I'm doing videography and then editing.
That's
so
great.
I'm now an intern supervisor.
That's great. Good job.
Thank you.
I started last year February, and I came in here as a videographer. But as of now, I am doing both journalism, reporting, and at the same time editing and shooting due to the opportunities that have been given to us in the Gambian Talents Daily. So I am a very grateful intern with the opportunities provided and the hard work to be where I have to be. Thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. I am Aisa Tujalo, an intern manager now. I started in 2018 with zero experience in media, but I'm grateful right now. I have been trained for good skills. I'm a reporter, videographer, editor, and as well manager. I'm the one responsible sometimes for the whole office throughout the weekend and other stuff. And I have the opportunity to travel through the length and breadth of this country through Gambian Talents TV. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and now I have the confidence, I think, to speak, and we still have a long way to go if only you are dedicated and disciplined. At Gambian Talents TV, there is nothing like whom you know, how is it called? What is our slogan? Ham-hamle, we believe in ham-hamle. Like my student will like, I am the president correspondent now. But that's what we do at Gambian Talents TV. As far as you are committed and dedicated and disciplined, you will get whatever you want, because we don't only teach you the skill, but ethics as well, which will take you a long way. So thank you very much, and we are so grateful to have you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Already fruitful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
But
Thank
we
you.
want more.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, to my audience. My name is Fatou Kulubari. I'm from Lamen. Before coming here, I was working with the radio, different kind of radios. I have a lot of radio side.
Gambian Talents Promotion, the Gambia's first non-profit online public broadcasting network and home of culture and entertainment. At GTP, we bring you the best of Gambian creativity right to your doorsteps. Sell your products and services to millions of Gambians and friends of the Gambia via our online radio, TV, and newspaper. Advertise your business and watch your clientele grow like never before. Our content from the Gambia gets the diaspora hooked up to our screen, whilst those in Gambia love what we bring.
Before sitting at home, why not you go there and chance at Gambian Talents TV, where I came and bought the phone and later had the opportunity to be part of it. But I'm really improving, because when I was here, when I was coming here, I was here with zero experience, but now I am really improving.
Thank you. That's great.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikum salam.
Min nami wala e pula. Yeah. Min ko Salimatu Diallo mi innete.
Okay.
Mi jibina Serekunda Central. Kono mi ne a Jara Fataliba. Am ka innete Sarabuke. So mama am koto wonno ko jungo mama am wonno. Mi yehi ton school Fataliba Primary School.
Really?
From there mi ari mi yehi Greater Banjul Upper Basic. And from Greater Banjul Upper Basic mi yehi Gambia Senior Secondary School. While I graduate, kono hari baba am na fala mi wada study accounting. Kono mi accounting hari wana feel out. So mene no mi ko media mi fala wada study, mene media no wada study, mene even though si no wada study kono mi fala wada study. Mene okay joni mi bay ko mi fala na wawi yade e dum. So one day la jodi na social media rek mi e dum mi ka Facebook on opportunity. So mi wadi mo craft mi ari dum get for. So we were last what this happening, not the interview orientation. So we put the intensive on November 2020. So many yet Allah because Harimans was at our old day.
Right. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. That's great.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mariam Bifati. I graduated from high school 2019 without doing nothing. I came across of Gambian talents and I get the opportunity to be part of the internship program studying journalism. Thank you.
That's great. Excellent.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bitu Singate. I'm from Salaji. I came across Gambian talents through my uncle. And who sent me the link of Gambian talents, and he told me to go to Facebook to search for Gambian talents. Then after searching it, I took their number from there and called Gambian talents. Then they told me to come and collect a form. After collecting the form, I attached my documents to it, and I was called for an interview. And after that, then they called me for an orientation. Then after that, I was taken. And when I was coming to Gambian talents, I didn't even have a courage to stand in front of my colleagues to be able to talk. But now at least I can stand in front of people and talk. And in Gambian talents, when you come here, they are not just teaching you about journalism or videography. They will teach you how to comport yourself when you go out with people, and how you will link with people, and how to dress up when you are going out. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon to everyone. I am Ramatulai Faye. I am living from BALDER. I know Gambian talents through a friend who tell me to join Gambian talents when I sit for so long without doing nothing. So I came here as a journalist, but now a runaway journalist, but studying videography, editing, and that is good. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Hazali Jata. I'm from Brufut. I graduated at Gambia Senior Secondary School in 2017, and I've started Gambian talent just last November, and I'm studying journalism, but I'm hoping to acquire other skills in the future.
Absolutely. That's good. Great.
Good afternoon, Mr. Balder and my colleagues. My name is Maimun Ejadu. I graduated from Moscow Civil Secondary School in 2019. I came across Gambian Talents Promotion through a friend who told me about Gambian Talents Promotion, and I later told them my willingness to come and join the family here. So when I joined the family, I was shortlisted and also given the opportunity to be part of the interns here. So with the help of Gambian Talents Promotion, I am able to realize some of the hidden potential that I have in me when it comes to story writing and also talking to the public. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Mr. Balder, thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much. Wow,
we have more than 50 young people, and currently we have more than 100 young people that have passed through this institution.
Absolutely.
Some that are working in other televisions in Gambia, and they're also doing very well. So we want to change the life of young people. Some here are married, some here are not married, but they're very, very willing. I think she said it. She is all the way from Bara. She crossed every day to come to the institution.
Wow.
So there it is. So we can continue with the class.
Wow,
now.
thank you very much.
I just wanted to introduce you.
Wow, wow, thank you. This is excellent. I mean, this makes me a little bit emotional, because what I see in all of you is what I saw in myself when I was growing up. I see drive from all of you. I see determination. You did not sit at home and wait for somebody to pick you up. You had something and you woke up and then you went over to get it. You went after something to improve yourself. That is incredible. You got to pat yourself on the back for that. Okay? And that's going to carry you throughout your life wherever you go. Because nobody is going to give hand it over free. We say in English, there is no free meal. There's no free meal. Nobody's going to give you food for free. It's not free because somebody paid for it. So you guys have to pat yourself on the back and understand that you're getting somewhere. And I am so grateful to Pa Osman and the Gambia Talent Promotion. And I promise to support this institution going forward. Okay? Because what you guys are doing here is changing lives one at a time. Okay? You're changing lives one at a time. You're changing generations to come, starting with you, especially the women. I went to Pakaliba Primary School. That's where I was born. That's where I started my primary school. I did not even have shoes to go to school. My mom used to sell her clothes to pay for my school fees. Even if I bring my report, my parents were not educated. I went to primary school when I was 11 years old. Almost I did not go to school. Almost. So looking back now, I'm grateful. Because I see some of my friends and some of my brothers, some of my sisters who did not go to school, I was with them. And the difference in our life right now is education. That's the difference. I went back there, I just spent the night there, took my kids there to spend the night just to see where their dad is from, where I grew up. But I had the drive. I believe that I can go get something. And as long as I'm breathing, as long as I am well, I'll be able to go out and fight to get somewhere. Whether you go to Europe or you stay in this country, always do something to improve your skills. Because that's what's going to carry you, whether you are here or you are in Europe. Your skills, your education is what's going to carry you to the next level. And I'm very, very happy to see you guys doing this. This is who we are as Gambians. It makes me emotional because if you halate comes, the kind of ambitions you guys have is the same ambitions that our backway boys and girls have. They want to go out there and make it. We are survivors. Gambians, we are survivors and we are resilient. So in America, somewhere you have in some of my classes in the university, I was the only black person in that school. You look at where I came from. I had to work full time. I had my wife and I had my son, but I still had to go to college. Or I have a family, you guys cannot compete me. Because I have to work 8 hours or 16 hours, go to school, another 8 hours, go home and study. They had a lot of challenges because they bring some of their issues from at home, they bring it to the classroom, you tell at the press. The Malende wane solen hamu nyun funjoge. Ak luñu dal. lu dal suñ parents yi, this is nothing. So I see that drive in all of you, and I'm very, very encouraged with what I'm hearing. I pray for you. I encourage you to always reach out and get education and get skills and get training. The sky is the limit for you. I tell you a story. I mean, I'll get into the business a little bit later maybe, but just how I left here, okay? When I got out of school from Armitage, maybe a lot of you can relate to it. I couldn't even get a job from the beginning, even though I was from high school. I go every day to Banjul to go look for a job, knocking on those offices. Of course, at the time, it's whom you know. You have to know people there to get a job. So one morning, I mean, I was staying with Uncle Diejao. You might know him. He's my uncle. You know, one of my friends, Samba Balde. He's now a councilman in Wisconsin.
He was here recently.
He was here doing lectures.
The young people.
Exactly. So Diejao is my uncle, and then we stayed with him when I came in here. So Samba Balde is a councilman now in Wisconsin. He's a state representative now, elected state representative. So one day we just came from there. We were told that, you know, cooperative are doing some exams for SECO managers. So I came with him. We went to St. Teresa's to take the exam. I went in there. I didn't know about it, but I went with him, and then we took the test. I came in second from that. But when we went to do the interviews, I wasn't selected to be a SECO manager, because at the time you have to have somebody to guarantee you. You guarantee la, just in case you steal the money. You know, cooperative time, they put all the money in it, and around case like you know, they put all the money in there that you go to, you know, over the provinces. So if you run away with that, what's the guarantee that, you know, that's the money is going to get paid back? So you have to have somebody who have a landed property, come care, put you mun guarantee. Man, feel like my interview. Or cooperative is opposite here. It used to be, it's now NAWEC. It used to be cooperative. One of the best institutions in this country has ever founded, but it was grossly mismanaged. Because sojale $500,000 is nga joko hamne fa first graduate from school, you dem manage ko. Then go pachak yet. You know, so people got rich out of it. It was mismanaged, but it was a great institution, because them gender fallen on and all that kind of stuff. You know, some of you may have hear some of those stories if you're not old enough. So I went to the interview and I was denied. You know, kan mo la guarantee. Man suma papa ak suma brother nak lañ am. We have cattle. That's what we have. If I run away with the money, you guys can go sell that cattle. That did not fly with them. So I was denied. But that's fine. I did not give up. I went back. You know, I said, okay, I'm going to do some teaching. So I did some teaching primary school at Bundung Primary School. My salary was $350. Temang don luas. Luas ball, luas neck. $350. Can you imagine? This was in 1991, 92. Couldn't survive it. It was so difficult. But I was determined that, you know what? I cannot sit at home. I have to do something. Just like what you guys said. You did not sit at home. Somebody told you about this and you got up. The one that comes from Bara every single day. Every day. I mean, how many swing joge subarek then you talk. They nan ataya. Wala di har. Yalla dana ñew way wala duwabe jabila. You guys have an excellent drive. So I did that. Teaching was not my thing. I started looking for a job. I went to Gambia Civil Aviation, and I was hired at the Civil Aviation as a secretary, a clerk. Lolu doyuma. I want to be at the control tower where they control the planes. That's where I want to be. Because the office, I was kind of discouraged in the office because it was too crowded. Time bomb non dañu hire nit ñi ñu xamné amulo place dañu hire rek ñew tek la di la fay xaliss. You know, I was kind of worried about it. I'm like, wow. So joge sa tog bi do de mëna am benen togu. Kenen na fa tok because there's so much staff that the positions were not there. So I went to the control tower, did my training. And to Europe because we had the stories of it in Europe at the time. Never wanted to do that because the Maharana can do my dimbale. So man, what I'm going to do is to pursue a career in the Gambia. Maybe
and talents promotion. The Gambia's first non-profit online public broadcasting network and home of culture and entertainment. At GTP, we bring you the best of Gambian creative.
So it was very, very difficult. Why? One day I applied for,
via our online radio, TV, and newspaper. Advertise your business and watch your clientele grow like never before. Our content from the Gambia gets the diaspora hooked up to our screen, whilst those in Gambia love what we bring for them from afar. This gives us a unique edge and separates us from the rest. If you want to be heard or seen by the world, contact GTP. We tap, nurture, and promote Gambian talents and businesses. Think promotion, think GTP. For all your event coverages, religious gathering, naming ceremonies, weddings, documentaries, music videos, TV and radio commercial, and more. We also do design and print jobs of all types, logos, business cards, brochures, flyers, t-shirts, coffee mugs, banners, billboards, catalogs, and magazines. We also do lamination and projector rentals. We are the first Gambian non-profit online public broadcasting network with over 300,000 active followers across all social media. Contact GTP on 750-3654, 750-3654 or 794-9214, 794-9214, 404-593-6215 or email us at gambiantalents@gmail.com. GTP, the people's power. Gamsobis in focus with Khalil Banjang every Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m.
You want to know about the Gambia entertainment industry. You want to know the existing policies and programs of the arts and culture sector. You want to know about the governance and management of the arts associations. The program will throw a fresh light on the entertainment industry in focus. We will touch so many angles about the cultural sector, the opportunities and challenges, and interrogate them, and most importantly, offer solutions.
That's what we did, but I also wanted to continue my college. I did my 2 years at the community college. From there, I went 2 more years to the university to get my bachelor's degree in business. From there, I went back to do my master's. So I did my master's in business, MBA. Then I started business. I got my real estate license. Because I'm a poly, all this time. Then so instead of doing other things, I wanted to start a business. So I got my license in 2003. Right from college, got my license, started business. Man could have part-time while man get business part-time. Maybe I'll sell 2 or 3 houses a year, or maybe 1 house a year. While man don't get human resources. And I started growing there, started hiring people to the hospital that I was working at. If you go to Seattle, there's a hospital, there's a Swedish hospital, there's a lot of people working there. I help hire them to come in to that place. So to your people.
Gun Service in Focus with Khalil Banjang every Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m.
100 month you go and pick your salary up. New days, huh? You know, I'm the new day collection salaries. Over here. Over there, you don't clock in the hour, you don't get paid. You have to clock in. So later, sir, we're clocking 15 minutes late, that 15 minutes then code it up. So the reason why I bring all that up, Lingenagis Fini, Yep, Nun Halis Bunch Pen Fini, and everything here, they have to swear it. There's nobody who is giving it to them. They have to swear it. But I'm the heart to build an institution like this and to share it with other people. That is major. That is major. Pausman is a pioneer. Okay, Lumo definitely, you start mentioning own media houses, they did not do it. This is an institution. You know, I mean, you encourage him every single day. You go through this. You go into news media now. You are reporting GRTS. Maybe you are over in QTV and all that kind of stuff. You may end up even in CNN. What's your story? You started out here on Gambian Talent. That is always going to stick with you. So, he had to deny his family to do it. Camera Yuma Gisfini, they're very, very expensive. They're very, very expensive. You media, you know, to news editing, you see some of the equipment that he's using here. They're very, very expensive. He has sleepless nights, work 24 hours without coming home to his kids and to his wife, just to provide for other people. Only great citizens can do that. So I encourage you guys to take advantage of what is happening here. Get your education, pass it on. So coming back to the business, you know, the moral of this story is that success doesn't come in a silver platter. It doesn't come. Why ganaw yange ligay? You are honest, you're trustworthy, and you're dedicated, you're giving back. It's not how much you have, it's how much you can share. It's not how much you have. So I made $100 and you can share $25 of that. Yalla def la gena yoka. Mean it is in us. Mun nga joge ci kaw nga ñew fi ni ken xamul la nga jël la dugal la ci kër ñu nekk di la yar fofu non. Ñun Gambia, that's why we are compassionate people and a society. So it's not how much you have, it's how much you can share. And you put that at the back of your mind all the time. Ganaw yange share with people, yalla def la gena yoka. Legi it's very, very difficult. If you're sharing, but you can also take care of yourself and take care of your family as well. So the success stories that you guys are hearing, we struggle. When I leave my house in the morning, 7 a.m., the mother needs to be 8 p.m. The mother needs to be 8 p.m., sometimes until midnight. Because I work for myself. But I always ask myself, my boss always, I have a coach, a business coach. Even though I do business, I also have a business coach. Somebody holds you accountable. Somebody holds me accountable every single day. Linga Bugadef, you set a goal and you work towards that goal. As long as every day you are doing a little bit of it, you're going to accomplish something. Every day you cut something out of it, no matter how big it is, you're going to slice it all. You understand? So, persistence. Always be persistent. But never forget your family as well. Because I'm going to mistake sometimes in America as well. There are people who have kids, they're always working. You cannot tune off and go back and take care of your kids. I'm not telling you many and you have they're born in America, they grew up. They have a lot of challenges. They have a lot of challenges. Same parents have a lot of challenges because everybody has to run every day to provide something for your family. So no munti def, ninga munta def, you tune off sometimes and you take care of family. You guys all know we have extended families. You have to share it with the people. It's very, very difficult. Legi nga yoni dara, nga sampa nek, wala nga yoni dara nyu hako. So don't take anything for granted. That's the story. Don't take anything for granted. Suji nik jowe dara mulela am, wala munya hejal la chilum neka, nga santa yala, be pare nga am si sobe. But in terms of the media, I haven't gone to professional journalism school. I did not. But I had passion for media very early on since high school. I had passion for writing. I used to do political reporting. I still do a lot of political commentary. That's why I had a lot of passion for it. But you don't have to go to media journalism school. This is great if you can do it. But if you can bring in other skills into what you're doing in your media. When we started Gainako Radio, there were a lot of challenges in the US, in the diaspora, between the media. Between the media, there were a lot of challenges. But we wanted to make sure that we bring in other experience that we had in human resources, in the ethics, ethics and professional level. Never compromise that. If you go on Facebook and you go to my real estate website, BALDER Family Real Estate, trust, integrity, and professionalism. 3. Trust, integrity, and professionalism. We want our clients to trust us. We will always carry ourselves with integrity, meaning hamnan funjoge and how we carry ourselves. And we would always treat other people with respect and with dignity and with professionalism. When we give you an appointment, we will show up to that appointment. It is something that you train. When you give these people an appointment, class day, unless you have an emergency, you need to show up to that class. Nga commit sa bopa. Nga sama sa kadu. It's very, very important. It's going to carry you on, and you're going to pass it on to your kids. Your words is who you are. Your word is your bond. Ninga wa. Ngasamako. So promising it, fulfill it. But your honesty and your trust and your integrity and your ethics in your professionalism. These are all our journalists. If you go online right now, you see, oh, journalists, join the list. That's what they call us. You criticize the government. They say, join the list. They criticize us. They say, oh, you are not a journalist. You are this, you are that. You are an activist and all that. Yes. Man, don't work for somebody the other day when we interviewed us. Journalists are activists, but not political activists. We're activists for human rights. We're activists for dignity. We're activists for speaking for those who cannot speak, the voice of the voiceless. We are the voice of the voiceless. I'm not unique market right now. They have a story. Who can get out their story? Us in the media. So you are an activist for that person. You elevate their stories. You bring them to the forefront. They can vote a lula. They don't get a fini can file. Do you have fight? They don't provide you as a salary. Your media houses would provide with a salary. But your salary is not coming from government. And yet they expect you to hold yourself with a very, very high standard. The highest standard, they hold you very, very high. That's our profession. Journalists are activists. Activists for human rights. Dr. King Denowane, if you're going to tell the people, tell them, I'm a drum major for human rights and dignity and respect and social justice. So in the media being an adugafini, this is one of the best platforms. The fact ubi sabot. Okay? It exposes you to people, to stories. You come across stories you amne. So ko read ya journalist bi ci bopa. Denga buga break down because of their stories. But there is nobody out there to tell their stories except us. We dig that out and you bring it. And sometimes you can bring those stories out and you get a backlash. Come no more here, you happen with Dida Hydra and others here. And even Paus Manjuf and all of us. They know saga online. You know, you brought some kind of story, you saga parents. You must always conduct yourself with respect. Suñ la saga ku am papa, am yaay, koku waruta saga papi jamu. Ko so saga papi jamur wala yaay jamur. So ya ak sa papa nga saga. If you respect your parents, you would never insult other people's parents. Respect is earned. The new Gambians, then they train from home. They train us from home. Sa parents is soon to get a saga in front of your parents. That's what we know. And we're Muslims as well and Christians. We're people of faith. We have faith. So lolungen bai ko hell throughout your life, wherever you are. Always, ninyi den la respect. They'll provoke you so that you can get upset and you can lose your temper. In the profession we are, somebody can provoke you any minute. Somebody can write anything about you anytime. But you as journalists, we are not this story. We bring out stories. We don't want to be part of the story. We bring out stories. But our stories are there as well. History records our stories. The kind of work. This Gambia Talent Promotion, this is history. This is an institution that will go a long way to change your lives, change your kids' lives, and change your country's lives. So I'm very much encouraged with Fatu. I mean, you know, this is incredible. You have mentors. You have mentors. It's a mentor and a mentee. You have somebody who's going to mentor you, who's going to show you. You may not have any money, you may not be paid for it, but just remember what you are getting there is something that you can pass on to society. So I don't want to take this any long. I don't know if there's anything that I missed. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer questions by yourself. But I wanted to really congratulate Gambia Talent Promotion. I see the work that you do, and sometimes we don't, you know, we're not part of the story. So perhaps somebody didn't come in here and make a story about Gambia Talent Promotion, even though you're on social media, you are on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. But somebody needs to do a story about this. Write about your story, how you started and what you got. I'm also going to do my best to highlight this because since Manyewe in Gambia, I go to places like the TRRC and I write my personal experience, and I'm going to document. I'm going to write a personal experience about coming here. And what I saw at the TRRC were young people like you, young talented Gambians. It's an institution that is running on its own. A lot of people did not know what some of the work that they're doing back there. Well, there are young Gambians who are videographers, young Gambians who are transcribers, young Gambians who are lawyers, sitting there every single day, doing their work. Experienced Gambians. More for them, wow, I have to write something about this. I wrote a story on it on Facebook. You know, obviously some of you might know, you know, our, go ahead, somebody want to say something? Oh, Mr. Juf.
Yes, I am on the line, and I'm very with the word. I've often said, great minds think alike. When I hear you share your story, and I hear you talk about certain things and relating your story to some of these young people, I can confirm to you that the stories are very similar. Just yesterday around this time, I was on the phone with a couple of them who shared similar stories. And I just wanted to buttress that to them, that they are not alone in this. Some of them are going through pressure from family, and hardly does a week passes by without me hearing a story. I open up to them, and I have an open door policy. They know the times that they can talk to me around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I call. Of course, that's in the morning when I wake up here in Seattle, or early in the morning before I go to bed. They will talk to me and share their stories and ask me for advice. And just yesterday, I'm saying yesterday around this time, I spoke to a couple of them. who are going through pressure. Their parents asking them to go look for a job or better jobs where they can bring in money to support the family. And it touched me. And I told those young people that you are not alone in this. I remember myself graduating from St. Augustine and starting youth in development and change leader, doing a lot of voluntary work and non-profit work and soul searching and engaging, because as you said, DEMBA, Gambia is a country where opportunity don't come probably to the right people, or because of what you can do, but for the most part, who you know.
Right.
And if you are not connected, if you are not from a family that is well off, if your parents are not rich, there's no opportunity for you. And that is actually the reason why I created this thing, because I lived it myself. Directly from Parapet, my mom sold palm oil. You people do English and I don't die. Some of the interviews I had, some of you might have heard me share my story. That some people will phone me, the reason why I'm short is because of those 20-liter gallon of duties that I used to carry on my head for my mom. I was the head boy of Parapet Junior Secondary School, and I will in the morning carry my mom's 20-liter gallon of duty to take it to the market for her before I go to the school. Guess what? My head boy. Even if you feel I do in the professional uniform, it drips on my shirt, and when the sun shines in the afternoon, it takes away the beauty on my shirt. That is part of my story, similar to DEMBA BALDER story. So some of you that are struggling, some of you that are from humble backgrounds and humble families, don't think you are alone in this. I remember when I graduated, my dad, if he so rest in peace, will force me or will talk to me, will tell me, Yanga Muhammad Apa, why don't you go get a job from somewhere on me? I was doing non-profit work. And in fact, I was saying this to the young person yesterday. I shared the story with you. I told her, I came to the U.S. to attend a conference on behalf of the Gambia in 2004 through that same organization that my parents and my family thought I was useless about. A good number of them that are sitting here today, they know this story. They know they are going through some of these challenges. When they come to learn, when they come to seek knowledge for free of charge, nobody is asking them for a dime. They go back home, their parents and family members think they are useless. Their friends and colleagues think they are useless. They are wasting their time. And as your topic says today, nothing comes easy in life. The Lord don't look talented. They must have done Serenam. These are the messages that I teach them. I hear you say a lot of things about them being patient, about them being reliable, about them being trustworthy and respecting their words. They are there. These are my words that I say to them all the time. Some of them desperately look for this opportunity. When every single time, including right now, at no time do we have less than 100 applications on our desk. Right now we are recruiting for new people. Right when you came in the door, Mr. Balde, Isaac Diallo and I were talking. On Tuesday we are recruiting a new batch. Every 2 or 3 months we bring in a new batch of people. On Tuesday we are bringing in a new batch to interview them. So we barely have less than 100 applications on our desk, but most of them, as soon as they come in the door, they start to get relaxed. They start to be loose. They start to not take advantage of the situation. Something that so many young people out there want. That is not being provided anywhere. And what you also mentioned, the equipment and how expensive they are. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you know how much it costs. When I tell them probably one of those cameras will cost me $3,000, $4,000, the string speakers and all the other gadgets, they think it is a joke. Then they translate that into money and becomes $180,000, $200,000. Imagine then a kind of $200,000. I'm glad you are sitting there and telling them. So you are telling my story and making my work easier, not even knowing what it is, because this is what I say to them all the time. They continue to break some of these barriers. They continue to probably not take it very seriously. And I hope that hearing it from you, even though you and I haven't spoken about anything, but you are just speaking my language, and I'm very excited to hear what you're saying. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, great. Yeah, so let's go and ask questions if you guys have any questions. Compoundman, don't take anything for granted. Don't take anything for granted and be patient. Be patient. Legi compoundman, you go through a lot of challenges. Yenen parents, they will ask you to go get married. Yenen they will ask you to go get a job. But life is a journey. Life is a story. It goes from one step to the other. And you go through that journey and never give up. Never give up. As long as you don't give up, you're gonna get somewhere. Failure is part of trying. If you don't try, you will never fail. So your exam don't must fail. You know, so the reason why you fail is because you tried. But never give up. If you fail, learn from it, pick yourself up and go to the next level. Go again, because there's so many businesses that I tried myself. China iPhone cards, China I prepaid phone, cell phones. They didn't have this. It was prepaid phones, you know, China, yep. But I just wanted to do the business. I wanted to do business. I learned from all those things. Some of them would fail, but when you fail, dust yourself up and get to the next level. Give it a challenge. If you don't try, you would never fail. So never give up. I'm challenged for, you know, buga discourage in life and give up. Never ever give up. Always believe that the best is yet to come. And always believe in yourself. Have the confidence in yourself that if XYZ can do this, I can do this too. I can do it. I can go to school. I can be a journalist. I can be a media owner like this. It's not going to happen overnight. That's where a lot of us make mistakes. A lot of us want to do it overnight. Why do they want to happen now? But even in America, you hear some 18-year-olds, I'm going to be a millionaire. You have to go through that ladder, that ladder. You have to climb that ladder step by step. They get them 2 steps forward, get you 3 steps. But don't give up. Always look for somebody to inspire you. Always look for somebody to learn from. So let's go around, and then if you don't mind, if you guys have questions, so we're going to in Wolof or in Mandinka or in Polar, I'm happy to answer any questions. Fatu, back to you.
Do you have any questions? If you don't, I have many questions.
I have a question.
All right, Sisa.
Yes.
I am Mariam.
Sisa, please get up. Let me just have your camera.
Yes, Mariam.
Okay, good afternoon once again. I am Mariam Sisa. My question is, what was your worst experience when it comes to journalism?
Thank you. Good one.
My worst experience when it comes to journalism. That's a great question. I wouldn't say my worst experience, but I would say my biggest challenge when it comes to journalism. I mentioned earlier here, nobody elected you as a media person. A lot of people are not going to pay you. A lot of journalists in this country are not rich. The opportunities are not plenty. Even in America, New York Times, you hear the New York Times, you hear Wall Street Journal. Because now you can have an online version where you can gather money from there. But there's no quick getting rich in journalism. Journalism is a passion. It's a profession that you get into, you're dedicated to it. So let success fake fofunonu. Alhamdulillah. But don't see it as I'm going into it to make money. And Lord, is very, very important. Coming in a trainee, even if you are not giving a stipend or you're giving a stipend or you are paid, just understand that you are doing service to humanity. Journalism, media work is service to humanity. It's dedication to community. So bringing stories. Why? It has a lot of risk also. Because one of the things that, when I started writing against the government here, I couldn't come back because of the threat. Some people describe it as I was scared. Fine. People can describe it that way. Why? So I'm a family. Come, you have little kids, you have a wife, you need to be responsible. You cannot make irresponsible decisions. So when I knew Nadeka in the US for 3 years, she came back. And I couldn't come back to this country, even when she died. I couldn't come back. What was the reason for that? Because my government did not want me to speak against them. That was the reason for that. Why man, so be it. So my wahana man sufe kene continue the right against this government. So ma fi de do mona ñew. So mo ne ma bayyi lolu nal hell. Bayil wax bi. Mané ko I know. And I'm sorry because ku am dom rek bo nga ko protect ku am dom buga nga dom bi dara joko jot. So it was the security of the mom or the parents, they want to protect you. Why maneko suñu o domi rew mi pour ñu taxaw ñu fightal seen boppa da nga bëgg ma bokka fofu non mané ma waaw mané ko kon lool lay def because man I grew up seeing her fighting for other people's fight bu xamné it's not her fight. Why just because you look down on this person wala nga ñew tapas kini buga ko oppress wala buga ko door mu taxaw fight yoy non. So if you are getting in it, just know that you are getting into a lot of risk. Why risk bobu non is worth it. Time bobu non suma parents, suma family, my younger brother is right there. Suma sister and FCC send me, they don't want bulen obi and open a Facebook account because they all kind of disown me. Not literally they didn't love me, but they were scared. They didn't want, nobody wanted to be my family member openly. But that's fine. That's the risk that you take. Right? So legi sa parents wana ne bul def li binta wala Mariama, right? Bul def li because soko defé dañ la def ni. So yeah, you go through the challenge, but because of your passion, because of it's a passion, li nga bëgg contribute to society, that's why you carry yourself. You say, you know what? I'm not going to disrespect my parents, but I'm going to have to do this. This is my passion. This is what I want to do in my life. So those are some of the challenges that you. So amé jeker mu na bëgguma nga def liggéey bi. Wala nga am dom yu xamné dom yi no, I don't have anything to do with this. Why you have to come to terms with what you're doing. Nga xamné journalism in the media, there isn't a lot of money. But you can make money in other places. I'm still a journalist. I own a media house that doesn't make a lot of money, but I run my own business to support that thing. So just being in the media doesn't mean that it stops you from doing something else. In fact, it makes you more creative because you can learn from other people. So those are some of the challenges that you're going to encounter along the way. Nini dañoo ñew dictate la, oh journalism, look at what ngay dem fii nii Gambia Talent Promotion duñ la fay demal ut liggéey. But what you're doing, actually, you are contributing to society. You're uplifting people. So those are some of the challenges that you're going to get. And those are the challenges that I encountered as well. It was very difficult. It was very lonely. But alhamdulillah, bu change bi amé, a lot of people wanted to know who you are. Suma jamé ci airport bi, bu dama dé rusa because dañoo ñew né, oh Demba na nga def. I don't know who they are. You know, but because of, you know, some of the things that we did, you know, that's why Super Usman watching Chite Kapite, a lot of people are going to recognize him. You know, he doesn't even know them, but because of all the things that he's been doing. So those are challenges that you're going to face, but you can overcome them if it's your passion. Continue.
Your words, Demba, as you said it, a lot of people joined when it became sexy. Right?
Yes.
And then I went through the same thing with my mom.
Right.
She is calling me here right now and seeing what you guys are doing and what I am doing,
right,
educating people. She's actually a fan of Gambian talent now and what all of you are doing. Versus when she was in Gambia, right,
right,
to sit in Farafeni and people will call her and tell her, because I am being insulted all over.
Yes.
People will insult my mom. People
Yes.
will insult my dad who is thinking brave. And they will tell my mom and she will call me and probably cry and ask me to stop this. Why do I have to do this? Why do we have to pay this price? My family members, my siblings here in Atlanta and different places will face a lot of pressure. My brother, my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? My mom will tell me, Gur, can go hair has more. That was their belief.
Mm-hmm.
Gur, can go hair has more.
Mm-hmm.
When I used to talk and do my Look at Gambia show, it was the only show at the time dedicated to politics on the Gambia platform. When I say certain things, my mom will tell me, can go hair has more. I am relating a lot to what Demba is saying, and you guys are no exception to that. You get criticized left and right, in
Absolutely.
and out,
Absolutely.
by different people. People have different and diverse opinions about what you say and what you do. And I think some of you have already experienced it. But you have to understand that if you're just coming into this to make quick money, then the field is not for you.
Yes.
And if you're coming into it to get fame, you will get fame, but you will get bottom. Because as Demba said, certain things you do will have a backlash for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any question for Kurbali?
Yes. My question is like, after attending the the community college, what kind of business you were doing?
Thank you.
That's a great question. So I studied business there, human resources. So one half in them, I don't jai, I sell phones, right? So I had people that own the phones, and I was distributing them. Come within Seattle, I'm on now up to 50 stores or even 100 stores. You have nesuma ame cell phones in them, we give them discounts. So even when I was in class, sometimes, especially in the community college, you know, I'm not walkie-talkie, they're like Nextel. They used to be Nextel. It's still like a pager, right? And I talk fini new page la while somebody call you on the phone. Then I don't you know, so I don't them college. Legi my father put son of my phone, and then all of a sudden my boss called. Demba, where are you? Mang to build class. So they don't jai for you know, they don't jai phone cards, I mean prepaid phone cards, because then they didn't have a lot of these cell phones. So phone card be then call gender, be pare so buge call banjur nga call. You know, they don't distribute you itami. I don't jai you know. So feke duga ngoma in real estate. Jai na insurance tami. I joined an insurance company for jai insurance. So that was also difficult. You know, Donald Trump, Halis Bunde, they've have companies be pare. It's like a pyramid, right? You have to recruit 5 people fee. You have to recruit 10 people. You need to recruit 50 people. You make a big thing. You make 5 Halis. Halis Bobu, Momoneka the big boss, right? He gets that. It's like a pyramid. So he does a business like that. I attend now so many of those seminars. Some of them don't work. They don't work. I'm like, okay, if it doesn't work, pull. So for Halis Nekut, there is no need for me to then I go do something else. But that's what I was doing at the community college. First thing you know, lad on there.
Any question? Any other?
Yeah, you want to follow up?
Yeah,
Follow up?
let's have is a
follow-up question.
Another question.
Yeah, it's a follow-up.
Yeah.
Okay.
You told us like by the time you went to New York, you are staying with like 10 or 12 people. How do you manage that during going to school? And that time you was a student.
Yeah, I wasn't a student actually when I was in New York. Obviously, when I left Gambia, I got an I-20. I wanted to go to school over there. Why? That's a different story. So for Egere, because then you schools is very expensive. So you get in there, you want to go to school, you have to pay for yourself as an international student. As an international student. Some people, their parents are able to afford it, but I couldn't. So I had to put the school aside and then start liggéey pour muna survive. Why pour deka koto you know, that's a very common story. Right? So there's a lot of people when you go in there, a lot of group. It's good actually, in a way, because then you know if you're all so and there's about 5 of you or 10 of you staying together, each pays a little bit. It was difficult because then Jabar Nekutfa. So can I toga? You know what I mean? Somebody, so you have to take turns. Can I clean? You know, so for you know, everybody has to take turns to do it. You know, so Lola don't know why time Bob no Nekumount school that. You know.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And let me just say this, as Demba just mentioned, that is a common story, and those of you in Gambia must be very grateful. I was watching the semester avenue yesterday, and I had Pat Samba and Mariama Fati say it. Those of you in Gambia must be very grateful to those in the diaspora, because that is a very common story,
right,
where people will sacrifice their own comfort, leaving 3, 4, 5 people, 7 people in the same place, and preventing themselves from having a lot of extra stuff just to provide for you.
Right.
Please appreciate it. Or connect to the diaspora, take care of it, because you don't know the struggles that they go through, and sometimes it's very important because you don't have anybody to support you for the most part.
Absolutely.
You are alone. Background. Some people, everybody's story is different. Some people came, they have a friend who could love them. Some people came, they have a family member. But if you are one of those people from the area, you the struggle is usually real. The more that we do get diaspora, especially in Europe, you deport land, just not long ago, we had a story of a young man that was deported who killed his father in Birkama. Allegedly. Those kind of stories. They may not know what he went through. Maybe the little he has struggled for, eventually they end up taking advantage of it. So please appreciate what the people in the diaspora would do for you, no matter how small.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that.
Thank you. Ramu, you can go.
In our society nowadays, when a student is working and at the same time going to school, the work
That's a great question. It is very, very difficult, and it relates to story book Pa Usman Domwani. Those in the outside, Gambians and Jeffone, those in the outside, they have everything. Right? And they struggle big time. You know, so going to school and working at the same time, 2 jobs, not 1, 2 jobs, got them school. It's very, very difficult. It was difficult. But then yes, the kind of work that I'm doing right now is not going to sustain me long term. That's why I need to go to school. School is very, very important. You know, they are there, they haven't gone to school. They're still doing the same kind of work, earning maybe $2 or $3 more for years. Motor school is very, very important. It was very, very challenging. It was so difficult. We thought maybe Armitage, where we used to say, I don't know if anybody here went to Armitage, till daybreak. We call it till daybreak. Study till daybreak. And I answer coffee. You know, study, you know, living. Study all day. Over there it's even worse. It was worse. Because I remember when I was going to the university, I was working 3 days. 40 hours in 3 days. I might have 16 hours today, might have 16 hours on Saturday and Sunday, might have 8 hours on Friday. Then must go to them school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But it was very, very difficult. Why learning is a little bit different, right? I mean, as long as you are in tune, as long as you are on top of your work, you don't have to cram the whole year to pass your exam. For different. Even exam, when they're giving you an exam, they tell you these are the sections that your exam is going to come from. Sometimes it's open book, open note. That's the exam. So learning is not meant for you to cram whatever you learn in 5 years. Exam. It's meant to train you so that you have material. So that is more like the DEMBA lesson. So we can okay, so from chapter 1 to chapter 10 is where your exam is going to come from. Then you focus on that. Why kula wane dem na school in the US? Jangana. Nga hamne mo fayal bopam. Mo ligay 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs, and go to school. Sometimes ñu hamne dañ say suñ jabari dañ ñoo support pour ñu dem school first. Wala nga yow nga dem school, wala nga yow ngay ligay nga support sa jabar mu dem school. Ngeen def ko one at a time. It's very, very difficult. But that's where the success is. The school is the ultimate decider. Confident education. Why it is very, very difficult. It was difficult. When she was going to school, she used to work night shift. She worked night shift in the morning. She would go to class straight until like 6-7 hours. Mosoga nyepsi, toga ain, kanga nelaw, balanga demat again ligay. Mungi am dom. It was difficult. Why should you not come in there? Yalna should yaga. Compoundman, as he said, those, if somebody help you from outside, just be grateful. Hamal ne defa aye domami, defa aye njobotami, mo ko with you, nga ñaanal ko. Legi ñu, especially ñu suma mbokki poli, they think that you are entitled to do something for them. Suma yone suma brother Halis, mu jot ko duma call sa wa ma thank you very much. Because that is ungrateful. If you knew how I got that money, you should have just at least so could if they call al nit ki nga ne ko jerejef, because they denied their family and shared it with you. Yalla mo de def mbokk nak ñun yeb am nañ families, but you know your immediate family is your sa doom yi ak sa jabar yi ñoo nekk sa immediate family, and then you have the extended family. Ku nekk na ñun yeb dañu am family. But it's very challenging, but you can do it. Mota lola de wane ñun we're survivors and we're resilient because we know that's where the success is. Education is the key.
Yes.
Yes, my question is, as Mr. is very good in writing articles,
right?
And nowadays, you know, most of us, the young journalists, feels like it is very hard in writing articles and reports. So, what's your secret when it comes to writing articles?
That is great. That's a great question. Writing is difficult, but you always have to have somebody to look over your work. Okay, man. Fortunately for me, I had passion for writing. I write a lot of stories. I suma toge within 10-15 minutes, munna abinda the whole story. Suma started. In fact, suma stop it suma over. Suma abinda a whole. You know what I mean? But it's difficult. You need to read. Unfortunately, the social media thing right? I mean, the WhatsApp thing and all the kind of stuff, they influence in your writing. You have to take your writings professionally. You have to look at it as a professional work that you're doing, because you never know who's going to read your story. So ko def nga handle ko professionally. Mun nga am 1 or 2 people ñu editor la. Mun nga ko draft be pare. You go over it again. You read it loud, go over it, go through your mistakes, and then, you know, mun nga text a dictionary. Like it's social media, you can go to Google. If you don't know the spelling, you can look at the spelling. But just know that the work that you put out there is going to define who you are. A lot of people are going to read it and you don't know who they are. Sometimes I meet with people, they say, oh, I read your story. I used to read your story. I used to read your story. So I put a lot of passion into it and a lot of care into it. And then the words that you use in that story is very, very important. You know, come back to journalism, the kind of stories that we write. Your story can make or break somebody's life. It can destroy somebody's family. So always when you sit down to write a story or to narrate a story, always think about the consequences. When I was an editor of Gainako, so story binyewe, dama dey halat, because time of Gambians, they go after each other. Big time. So dama dey halat, fan la story bi joge, what's the purpose of it? And who is it going to affect? Because ñeneen ñi dañoo binda duñ fa def ten tour, ñu def fa saga, ñu def fa lu ñaaw, ñu bugga yaw nga editor, nga publish loolu non. No, I'm not going to publish it if you don't have your name on it. If you have your name on it, maybe I'll publish it or I'm going to edit it. Because it depends. Your low publish rec, it's a reflection on who you are and who your network is. So always think about that. You edit yourself as much as possible, especially found words. Nga hamne such stories, they go a long way to affect. In fact, you send me mun na judo, you read that story. Is it true? Is it not true? But always have somebody else to look over your work. You know, you can send it to somebody. You know, I'm happy to edit anybody's story. I'm happy to look over your story. You know, even though I'm busy on the fly, right? But I'm happy to look at anybody's story. Obviously, Pa Osman, you know, obviously, you know, Patu is here.
Mr. Balde, let me add to that. Every Wednesday we have a meeting, and on Fridays I teach them. I have a class. Just this last Wednesday, DEMBA, I said it. One of them talked about writing and stuff, and I told them, the best way to improve yourself as a journalist or a writer is to read, write, and speak.
Yes.
Write. I just said it. Some of you were at that meeting, right? You remember, most of you were at that meeting. You remember when I said that?
Right.
Yes. Exactly what I said to you is what DEMBA just said. You must learn to read, to write, and to also speak, especially when it comes to the English. And this is where a lot of you want to be lazy journalists, or when we even tell you to watch something or read something that is taking 10, 15 minutes, you are lazy to actually do so. But there is no shortcut in it. You must be willing to read and to write and to practice it so that you can actually get better at it.
Right.
And there is no secret, there is no shortcut to it.
Right.
But this is it. If you continue to do it, practice makes perfect.
Yes.
And like Demba said, I said this. You remember a while ago, about a month ago, Mr. Balde, you just said you can make somebody or break somebody.
Yes.
Just a month ago, somebody was working on a story, and I mentioned her name. She's there, I didn't know. And she was taking time to actually edit the story. And I told her, right now, you have blood in your hands. Because this person whose story was to be published was threatening to kill himself, or kill someone, if nothing is done about what Ajibintu was working on. And I told her in front of the meeting that right now you may be having blood in your hands. To make your story, be not published, you better publish that story.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you reiterated that, Mr. Balde,
Absolutely.
because we may not know. Majority of the people who watch your stories or read you or watch you through on the screen and don't tell you are more than those who tell you.
Right.
You may meet few people on the street that will tell you why Nila this, Nila Hamtewakunko can actually be the confirmation. Demba told you how he's recognized. When I was coming to Gambia the last time, from Yarul to New York to Belgium, everywhere people were looking at me and taking selfies with me left and right. Not only Gambians, but even Senegalese and people from other places. Just 2 days ago, I published the viewership of Gambian talent. Over 1 million people who checked us out. Go back to the page and you look at it, you will see the countries from which we have been visited or we have been viewed. From Gambia, 28% of our viewership is in Gambia. We have Italy as number 2. We have England number 3. We have the United States. I published all this data of number of people
people that are watching Gambian talents from these different countries. So you may not say time, America GB, and they are not telling you are way more than those who are watching.
Absolutely.
So you have a responsibility to give people accurate information.
Absolutely.
As I always tell you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And practice make improvement. You know, you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you're gonna improve. It's not gonna happen overnight, as Pasman said. You know, why so low trend, you know, then you improve a lot. So just keep training, keep writing as many of them, even if you don't publish them, keep writing as many of them as you can. You practice it.
Yes. I have a question.
Yes.
And I have a question.
Yes,
My question is, young people in the Gambia, a lot of them are in a haste. Young people right now, you know, especially in the era of social media, we have so many fake people, not everybody, and I start to be corrected.
Right.
People will see you and will tell you, Fat Samba, you have touched Gambian talent. Without you, Pausman will not go. Because so many people see you on the screen. We have young people that will start today, tomorrow, the next minute they start seeing themselves on TV. The next minute they will not want to stay. They will want to start moving to other places. And we all know, we have, you know, gone through all those challenges. When you want to work for other media houses, probably you have to date the editors, you have to know somebody, or your dad knows somebody, you know, so it is very difficult. And some media houses will ask you for results. And there are so many young people that are around, including myself and other people, that cannot even process any people to tell you they have passed through A or B or C. And from here, most people, I know of few people that have passed through Gambian talent. Because of us, they went through college. Because of us, they went through they had scholarship through the American Embassy that passed through us. Some of them have certificate in journalism because of us. But sometimes I see young people just knock the door or bang the door. And I saw Pausman a few months ago, he was crying when Binta Jiba left, one of our accountants. Yeah, Binta Cecil left, one of our accountants, and Mr. Duf was crying. And so many people were like, no joy. And I believe ordinary staff were just leaving because the particular person went through the right door, and when she was also leaving, she left the right way by coming to tell people, I cannot walk again because I have A, B, and C reason. But other people, sometimes you will depend on Fatu and say, today Fatu will be reading the news, or Fatu will go to interview Honorable Balder or any other person, and the next minute Fatu will just sit and relax. So I want you to talk about, you know, the issue of consistency, the issue of one knowing that nobody is indispensable.
Absolutely.
Anybody can have what you work for, you will always have it. And the other one is young people peer pressure. Some of us, we are here. The next minute we see our friends just give you a call and say, I am leaving, you will also say, I will be leaving. And you don't know what that particular person have in store. Some people are here, they're in a haste. Oh, I've been here for 1 month, or I've been here for 5 months, or 1 year, but I'm not employed. People have been in places for 3 years. I work at the Ministry of Information in town 3 years without being paid a single dollar. And before I moved, I was a senior correspondent and also a senior media personnel. So young people are always in a haste.
Absolutely.
People will come to you every day, will tell, Mr. Duf, I am here for 1 year. Mr. Duf, I am here for 5 months. You have to employ me here and there. But if you go through that particular young person, you will see the person did not know much. So maybe we can
Absolutely, absolutely. There is something we call patience is a virtue. To be patient, to arm the patient, is a virtue. Meaning that it is something that's going to carry you forward. So, I mean, there's a lot of people who want to jump ship. Chisasi, New Mexico. I mentioned earlier, life is a journey. You go from, if you want to go from step 1 to step 10, munga tumble in between and then drop back to step 2. But go from step 1 and always be grateful. This is training being another fini. This is skills training. This is good. This is hands-on experience. This is not only a classroom theory. Nga read, study all night. This is hands-on experience that you are getting. And you are learning directly, doing the work. The internship, it's very, very important. Your patience is very important. Munga joge fini nga dem GRTS wala nga dem whatever network nga neka fa. Why? Nothing guarantees that you are going to stay at that place. If you get out of that place, where are you going to go? That's why it's always for you to look back where you started and be grateful. You know, I mean, you can always change jobs, but you got to do it the right way. Binga don ñew denga fill out a form, denga joge ñew fill out a form, ñu interview la, see your potentials. Amna ñu bari ñu interview duñ leen dé why you see your potentials and they give you that opportunity. So I may be an opportunity somewhere. Give out notice, enough notice to say the mom opportunity that I could not pass on. I want to go try that. I'm pretty sure any good mentor would want you to grow. They would want you to go to the next level. Any teacher would want you to, to outdo them. But always do it the right way. Always take your time. As Fatu said, peer pressure is real. So Americans are moving for Halley's, them school. My son is right here. When you're going to school, there's a lot of peer pressure. A lot of people want to, you want to do something right away. You want to get to the next level. Why you always be humbled. Now remember, finger started, you go through the ranks. Eventually, you're gonna get there. So patience is very, very important. Always be grateful. Munga buy pizza them fenen. Nga them best successful. They'll swat back where you started, and you give back to them. You give back to them. Hen nga munga ñew fini lecture. Wala nga ñew fini nga am sa halis tuti nga donate to Gambia Talents Program. This is where you started. This is your alma mater. In other words, it's your alma mater. This is where you get your training. This is where you get your foundation. It's very, very important. So the peer pressure is there, absolutely, but always take your time. Then I guess then you jump from A to Z, or Z we call it here, right? A to Z. People can jump that fast, but not everybody can do that. Maybe as he said, they have connections. They have somebody who is a media guru out there. But yow jalal sa training, nga am sa foundation, nga move out with your integrity. You come in with integrity, you move out with integrity. Especially, you have to be dependent. You have to be dependent. So we can Gambia Talents new life, and we depend on you to do a story today. You have to deliver. I talked about this earlier. Your words are your bond. Nid munala olu benga kumase diko fenal. Walanga you start betraying your words. It's easy. Munda meet out tomorrow, nga talk like bukuma them. You already gave liability, liable to somebody that you're going to meet them, so you need to do that dedication. You always think back where you started. Always be grateful. Always be grateful. Buli yakamti. From high school, or maybe drop out of high school, they can be millionaires. But I can tell you, life is not straight. Life is a zigzag. You go that way, you go up, you fall down. You go that way, you fall down. I'm the new comic. Bill Gates is a millionaire. He didn't go to college. Fine. But how many Bill Gates do we have out there? It's not many. So whether you are Bill Gates or not, you want to go through the process. Earn your way through. Thank you, Father. I hope that answers your question a little bit.
Very well.
Yeah.
Any question?
Somebody else had a question. I think
Will you mind?
you can speak. You understand?
Yeah, will you mind to just say so that everybody can understand?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah?
Yeah, no problem. So you are doing business and you're doing journalism at the same time. So you're running media house and both business.
Right. How are you balancing?
How does it work? Yeah.
That's a good question. That's a good question. I think they are related. And that's one thing that I want also people to change that concept a little bit. I talked about media being a sacrifice, but media is also business, right? Media is business too.
That's what I want to hear.
It is business,
yes, I
right?
think now, without money, we
Absolutely.
media for free.
I tell my team, Flex and others, you cannot be working for free because you have family, right? You got to get paid. Munga Binda stories, you got to get paid for some of those things. Yes, there is an aspect of our profession, the media profession, but it's purely sacrifice. But can I sacrifice without food? You cannot sacrifice without transportation. You cannot do your work without transportation. So always that media aspect of it. The Gambia na lolu mo nek sun challenge right now ñun fi.
Mr. Bode, can I cut you short?
Yes.
1 minute. I think you have to talk to Pausman.
Yes.
Because sometimes I get mad, very mad, because people just approach him. Can you just do me this free program here and there? And people will come to us and cry. And the next minute, those people have sponsors and they will not pay us. For him, he's doing Fisabilillah media. Honestly.
Oh yeah, you're doing a lot of fisabilillah. Yeah, but I tell you, especially our Gambian communities, we have to start with media, sports, athletes you hamne, mënuñu make dara. They are world-class athletes, but they cannot make anything because we don't commercialize our stuff. Xam nga, doo mën a run a media house like this. Yaa ngi fay sa luwas, yaa ngi fay courant, yaa ngi def everything. How can you do that without getting paid? You cannot. You need to get paid, right? Waxuma ñu get paid when you charge for exorbitant stuff. No, but at least you need to appraise. So they may to a UN meeting right now or for anything. They give you transportation allowance, right? The government is not going to pay you. Why do they want even media houses if any? Even any of these ministries, the National Assembly members, they all have budget created for the media. They do. We need to tap into it. Mangdo have flex recently about marketing, right? You can go out there. So I mentioned earlier on my business, where are the next 6 paychecks going to come from? I ask myself every morning that way. Where's my next meal going to come from? So run an institution like this, how are you going to pay your bill? Munga def interviews, munga def stories, interviews and all that. Why could am business since Facebook page all the time they tag us with their marketing advertisements, then you get Jailan. I know. They tag you and they expect you to so I inbox you and I said, hey, we use our platform, we pay money for it, so if you're interested, we can do a promotion for you at a reasonable fee as a start. But I'm not going to use my platform to promote you all the time and yang def business, yang make halis. So your question actually, it's more or less like a conflict of interest, right? There is the ethical conflicts between business and journalism, perhaps the media that you're running. I use the media sometimes to promote my business, my own business, but my media is also supported by the income that's coming from my business. Understand? Otherwise, there wouldn't be any gainako. You know what I mean? So when I sell a house, I publish it on there. If somebody sees it on there and then decide to come to me and then buy a house, that's fine. So but always that ethical thing is always a very, very thin line. Why? As long as you are conducting yourself with trust and integrity, you'll be fine. So that's what I did. I could have focused on the media exclusively. But man, I see more money in real estate than in the media. I mentioned it earlier, right? So my benefit paycheck to real estate, we henya more, it's more 1 year of Gainako. The advertisements and all that kind of stuff. I'm not focus on it, but I would prefer to do the real estate business and then also do the media is a passion for me. I don't run the paper for profits. It's a passion for me. But even if I'm a position of a man, I cannot do it anymore because I'm too busy doing the business. So the people who are doing it, I want them to start making money. Gambia Talent Promotion should be able to make money. If you have 100,000 viewers, you should be able to make money to sustain yourself. He started all these things and started supporting it from his own pocket. The father Dugal hours, gender, cameras and everything else, and pay all these bills. So at some point, this institution need to be able to independently support itself without him sending out money from his own pocket. And you should be able to have a marketing person. You should be able to have somebody you have advertise. So for example, and they want an advertisement, they should be able to pay a lot of money. The government, they should be able to, there is public service and there is also service to sustain yourself. So you can always balance it, and there is no shame in it. And Gambian journalists, that's what we need to look at. We need to start to look at. There is no free meal. Mentioned nako earlier. There is no free stuff out there. So nyo yang buga manyo cover sa program sangente. Deng ma wara fay kay. Pumu gena right? Manta mo gera sawar. Because the equipment that I bring, the time that I spend, I could have spent that with my family. So how can I just come in and cover your story? You have to be careful because mun na ñew kenen dem ut ligay xegna benen department amut fa, so mu am fa grievance mu ñew in this story to you. Oh, this is what they are doing here, this is what they are doing here. Ya nga populist lolu non. You didn't get the both side of the story. You should always look for both side of the story. Balanga ko populist, because I mentioned this earlier. Your story could affect one person, but it could affect a whole lot of people as well. So always balance that out. You know, the ethical part of it is very, very important. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Balden, just to add on what you said,
right.
If I tell you this, you will be surprised. Every month, there will be no month that a postman will not go without sending money to this institution.
Absolutely.
Young people we have in here, we're training them, but instead we're also paying them.
Right.
We give them transportation. Some of them are here and they can always confirm if I am saying yes or no. We give transportation based on their performance.
Right.
We give transportation to people who think they're coming up. And also people that are also coming up, we also add them to the list, for most of them to be staff, some to be now permanent. We have permanent wages for them, that is transportation and all that.
Right.
So most of them are trying indeed.
Right.
And I would
Promotion. The Gambia's first non-profit online public broadcasting network and home of culture and entertainment. At GTP, we bring you the best of Gambian creativity right to your doorsteps. TV and newspaper. Advertise your business and watch your clientele grow like never before. Our content from the Gambia gets the diaspora hooked up to our screen, whilst those in Gambia love what we bring for them from afar. This gives us a unique edge and separates us from the rest. If you want to be heard or seen by the world, contact GTP. We tap, nurture, and promote Gambian talents and businesses. Think promotion, think GTP. For all your event coverages, religious gathering, naming ceremonies, weddings, documentaries, music videos, TV and radio commercial, and more. We also do design and print jobs of all types.
Because of the development that was happening here. They want to engage in a conversation. Sometimes just by us exchanging information or just talking to each other, we don't want to educate them. So Monaco, was it worth the development that was happening here? Was it worth the life of our citizens being killed? Soon parenting, delaying jail, deaf witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. Was it worth it? I'm not better you I'm a very young win sample finish it's worth a single life of a Gambia. Wow, I did not think about it that way. Manako, perhaps your uncles were arrested, you did not know about it. Perhaps your extended family were arrested, you did not know about it. Yeah, all you saw was development. By development, it won't happen without a life. Once you destroy a life, you destroy a life. So you can never bring that person back. So it cannot, your freedom and the dignity of a nation cannot be equated to life and liberty. But people should have the freedom to gather like this. Before, people were afraid to gather like this because then the NIA would be coming into what are they doing in there? But at the end of the day, it was about our country, it was about our liberty and our dignity. It wasn't about anybody. Nobody cares about the leadership or something. It wasn't about them, it was about us. So, Lola gis mane munu ma joge fini madam. Munu na joge fa manyaw ñu téye ma fini réew suma doom yi. I own them. I own one half of myself and the other half. So that's why I think. Thank you very much for giving that.
Thank you. Any question? Yeah, we don't have my time. Yeah.
What I just want to say is that some people say this here. This is a very difficult thing as a journalist to perform in this country the year before. And then what I just want to say is that people who in our society we have that mindset. Means if you graduate from school, no matter how you are doing, then you have to have a salary. You have to have a salary at the end of the month, or you have to do something to the family. So I just want for you to collaborate on certain kind of things or those kind of things to tell to the people that even learning does not stop in the forecourt of the classroom. Here I cannot call here is a classroom, but perhaps we have knowledge which we don't have in the classrooms. So people have that mindset. If you graduate from school, then you have to do something to the family. Here we are here, and then even me. Some people tell me at the end of the month, I want for you to do this thing for me. I tell them no, I'm not doing anything. I'm not having anything. So you cannot how to call. You cannot account. You cannot how to call. Is there any responsibility? There must be an accountability. But right now, I'm not responsible for anything. So how can you accountability me? How can you account me? So it is very difficult for people to understand in our society, especially in rural area, in our area, in provinces. Yes. When people say, when people are heard that you are in urban area, whether you are studying or you are doing something, as far as you are performing in one of the institutions, people have that mindset that you have something at the end of the month. Likewise, you don't. But what can you say to those people so that they can understand us? People who are furthering their education without having something. What are some of the things they can support us, rather than to say you should do something at the end of the month to the people in our society.
Right. It's very, very important. Your question is very, very significant, because we are more or less like a caste society. People would judge you. But you should always think about yourself first. Yes, you can always help other people. Let the people think about you. But you know what you want and you know what your goals are. Understand? Yes, unfortunately, swing parents in school. They want you to get out. After high school, they want you to go get a job. So I made a job salary for 2,500. I mean, to be honest, how many people can you help out of even $5,000 a month? You know? But our people expect these things because we have this society, it's a dependent society. Because you are the only person who is educated. Actually, yeah, it's the Malta high school. More baby city, Barinyon Besiri, Fanyon Besiri, Binkinyon Besiri, more baby Karamo. But it's like Karamo from high school. Or Doko Benafala, be more Benafala. You can. So at the end of the day, pursue your education. When I was in the US, my first few years, people expected me to do a whole lot. I'm going to school. I'm a student. Okay? It's a mutawar. You get a job, you'll be able to help you. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do it. School. But you should not worry much about what people say about you. As long as your goals are clear, your vision is clear. People are always going to, because you know, they talk about stuff all the time. But are you going to live your life worrying about what people are going to say about you? No. Your enemies are going to say something about you. Your friends are going to say something about you. Your competitors are going to say something about you. But you should always focus. As long as the goal is clear. Someday, wow. You know, after that, education is fundamental. It is fundamental. Kana messed up wala. Kana koronto kafu okay left and bama makoila. Yes, mo be nyante bama makoila wala e fama mama. Koringa ko nyame ni 3,000 iko so it be bama makoila. You know? So but neither educational pursue your bachelor's degree solo perhaps, right? Your college degree solo. At least you do okay no solo. Osi makoila no. So don't let what other people say about you hold you back. Pursue your goals and focus on it. Nisi mekeno isake ni $10 sisono nisi talata yadi mono de nisi mo mako no je fine. Ni te mako no sa fo ente mako. If I can do it, I will do it. Nganyo. Wala kena kunga. Thank you. I hope that answers your question. But you know, I mean, it's very, very true, very important. I mean, society kono. It's like people say, oh, ateo jira mando koso, karo mando koso. When at the end of the day, our education is all about theory. What you're doing here is actually sometimes even more important by you going in and getting your certificate from school, because you are being trained on the skill, on the job skill. This is what this country needs to do. This is what this government needs to do. We need to create institutions where we train young people. Italy. Skills. We see our fellow Senegalese down here. They have skills all over the place. That's what we, this country, need to focus on. We need to train our young people on skill. And this is one of the institutions that's going to train you on the job. You get your skills. You go out there, you know what you're doing. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the young lady from Bara is leaving before they finish in Bara. Yes, so we have few people that are on YouTube texting. And this is Usaino Conte. He said hi, and this is Aladi Email Jai said, Mr. Demba, good advice for our sisters and brothers. Keep up the good job. Respect you, bro. The same email said, Pausman as well, you're doing a great job in the Gambia. We need people like you. Respect to you, and you all keep up the good job. One Gambian, others are just sending love to Mr. Balder, and somebody said send me credit. Anyway, I think he's just kidding. And this is Ibrahim Tarawale, he said, Kurbari rather, he says nice talents. And thank you all the people that comment on our YouTube page as well as our Facebook page. We cannot read all your comments. Thank you very much. Any other question?
I have a question.
Okay.
You mentioned that when you were going to college, you were the only black man in your class. So was it very difficult on you to interact with those people who were in the same class with you?
I think it was. In America, obviously, we still have a lot of racism there, right? But one thing they say in America is it's a land of opportunities. That's what they call it, a land of opportunities. So anyway, that's that's first job. You get in, you can grow to become whatever you want to become, right? The class was, obviously as the only black person. I mean, there were some Asian folks, in my class, from China and from maybe the Philippines or from Mexico or things like that. But I wasn't uncomfortable. I wasn't. I saw the opportunity and I took advantage of it. Because man, I look at them as, these are human beings like me. They may have more opportunities, they may have been born in the United States, man, I have been born in Africa, I'm not opportunity to talk to build class. So man, I'm going to do my best. So I wasn't intimidated. And later, soon I made a discussion, for example, in my community college, my professor was a Chinese, so he wouldn't want me to discuss some stuff. But America it's a land of opportunity. As long as you're willing to apply yourself, as long as you're willing to learn and grow, then that's the opportunity. That's the difference. If you try legi do am the opportunity. Why follow am the opportunity. So buge ba denga ba. So buge do very well in school, you will, but find yourself there. And for my son, here I put him in through sports, a lot of sports. And playing a baseball, which is an American sport, playing an American football. I wanted him to be among them, Mumuna compete, to see how they succeed and how they, they operate. I wanted him to be there, and it didn't matter whether he was the only kid or not. I was always there to support him. So the competition in America is sometimes it's they might discriminate you. I got discriminated so many times. Why I would not let that hold me back. If you think you're gonna hold me back here with all these opportunities, forget it. I'm not letting you. I'm not letting anybody put me down. So they face exams and you mark like bad grade. The some professors you have an accent, right? Because you have an accent. So therefore they put you in. I work in corporate America. I was an IT recruiter. They hire engineers and directors and operators, software engineers. And they hire them. And they go to colleges. I even went to Harvard to hire people from their students. They discriminate against you, because you have that accent. They don't want you to be the face of the organization. But still, America, that's why it is a great country as it is, because so talent, somebody is willing to look at your talent. They look at your talent, not necessarily your color. Not everybody look at that. And then they give you the opportunity to do it. So it was challenging, sometimes it was intimidating. But you take it over. You know what I mean? I mean, so if you go in there as a Gambian, you survive. We are survivors. Really, that's what we're resilient. Citizens. A lot of the times then they prosper.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Allow me for a question. All right, then it will be the last question.
I just wanted to know, we all want to travel out of the country someday. So I just wanted to know, when you first left the Gambia for America, how was it like?
Well, before I leave, I thought maybe this is heaven, right? I'm not visa, I'm and all that kind of stuff. When I mentioned earlier, it's not the same. Like, it's not the same. But just so you know that when you go out there, all the things that you see people are doing from outside, they work so hard. It is so difficult out there. It's so difficult. I'm not going to mention that you're going to survive for. I'm not survive. Well, I'm going to because it is difficult. You are in a foreign land. Every single day, you have to go there and work. So when I went in there, I had to start from scratch. From scratch. I had to start, do a minimum work job. all that kind of stuff, and then go through the land. But again, as I said, the most important thing is that a lot of us go through, a lot of our young brothers and sisters want to go through the back way. Bul yakat. So if it's time for you to travel, you're going to travel. Why so you travel the right way. I would not encourage, it's not worth it. Because fi mun nga fi develop sa boba nga dem be am sa college education nga soga dem America wala nga soga dem UK. So fa ege ligay bi nga am moy gëna am solo. You can develop yourself here. While bul bay rek nga ne yow dama bëgga dem Europe la. Suma demul Europe duma def dara nga depressed. Di nekk di naan ataya wala di involved in something else. I have to go to Europe or I'm not going to do anything. This is why I said earlier I was very, very encouraged with you people. Because yéen ñëpp mun ngeen naa toog nga ne rek man dama bëgg a dem Europe dama bëgg a dem Europe ñu ngi ñëw di def lu nekk dama bëgg a dem Europe. But no, you're not doing it. You want to go to Europe. Every one of us want to go, right? But still, you're not waiting for that part time. God's time is the best time. Su ko Yàlla dogalee bés bu ko dogalee you will not even suffer from it. You will find yourself there. But when you are there, prepare yourself, and that's what this skill training is giving you. Mun ngaa jógee fii nii nga dem dëkk and journalist in New York. I nekk a reporter for the New York Times or for the BBC because of your foundations here. So ko defutoon doo mën a dem fare rek nga commencé ko foofu noonu. It's going to be very difficult. So your foundation, especially when you are young, it's much more challenging when you are young. When you are young, you want to party, you want to do a lot of things, right? It's very, very difficult to focus on your goals when you are young. But you people have the extra motivation. I see that in you. I see myself in every one of you. Every day, in fact, I used to go to the farm before I go to school in the morning. I used to go to the farm in the morning, but I'm in class. When I went to Armitage, after the school closes, I come back home. Farm all summer, rainy season, before school. Why so school over Jena, take na Buddha them na. So fofu pareta manyo. So always have the determination and the courage. So set time up to your day. So when you everything, or you get your own merit, you travel. You're going to travel when the time comes. But travel or not, wherever you find yourself in this world, you're going to work hard, you're going to do well to make it. Because you have the talent and the health. Most important, you're healthy, you're talented. If you don't make the effort, you're not going to be successful. Your success starts from here. You build the foundation here. So if you find yourself over there, it'll be easier for you.
Indeed.
So keep it up, guys. Keep developing yourself. Keep learning more skills. Keep going back to school. Keep studying and building of yourself. Building of yourself. So be it. You're going to be in a better position to even do better. Why put text? I have some brothers here that are just not doing anything. They want to go. But if you go and find yourself over there, full of skills, I feel sorry for you. It's very, very difficult even to learn a job so they make for the first time. It's so difficult. So develop yourself here, and then when you find yourself over there, it's only going to help you grow faster and better. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any other? I think Mr. Juve.
I have a concern.
Yeah.
Concern. All right, then be quick.
Mr. Balder,
yeah.
So I have learned that through what you said, all the challenges you went through, so you were never discouraged, so you just keep on pushing. Yeah. So I have learned a lot from that. Never to be discouraged in life. Even if you keep on climbing the ladder, you fall down, you have to
lift yourself up.
Yeah.
And you go up.
Yeah.
Never give up.
Yeah,
No
never,
likewise.
yeah.
Never give up in your life. Never give up. Again, you find yourself depressed, right? You find yourself as a family, you have family issues and all that. Never give up on yourself or on your family. Just never give up. Always lift yourself. Always believe me. Lula yalla doga. Then go up. Why yalla tam join la help. You ain't got the effort. You're going to in life is meant to be challenging. If it was easy, everybody is going to get something. But life is meant to be challenging. So if you find yourself, that's where it tests your faith. I mean, we have faith. We are Muslims. We are Christians. We are Jewish, right? mënuloo dem class la wala nga biir su fekkee jigéen ñi mënuloo dem class, right? That should never stop you from going to. Maybe temporarily you can stop, but after that, go back. Go back. It's never too late to go to school. Never give up on yourself. Have confidence in yourself first and foremost. Confidence in yourself. Munna ko def. Take sukudi sanga munne def munna ko def. I can do it. If they can do it, I can do it. The kids, if they can do it, if anybody can do it in the world, you can do it. Any one of you here can be president. Any one of you can be president. You can be anything you want in this world. The rest of it is in control of God. Yalla moko control. Yaw defal linga mu. Defal lula war. At the end of the day, wherever it stops there. But I'm always going to push forward. But never forget who you are as an individual, who your parents are, where you came from. You know what I mean? No matter where you find yourself, this is where we came from. This is our country. And just to conclude, if you don't.
Yes.
This country is our country. We have to build this country by ourselves. Nobody is going to come in here and build it for us. There is a difference between being a citizen of a country and being a patriotic citizen of that country. Kuneka amna figa judo. Nga neka domi rew. Why neka domi rew ak nema domi rew bu ba du bena. Du bena. We always have to look out for other people and look out for ourselves. Ya munga succeed. Man muna am story house muna am lu neka fi. But my neighbors cannot even have food to eat. Man, where is my pride?
No.
What's my pride? Man muna am lu neka kuneka munge demba. But the rest of the people that are around me are all suffering in abject poverty. What is use of it? And that's what kind of appeal that we want to appeal to our leaders. Look at this society. Look at what is going on. So if you gain a young dawal feeling out of them telling it, wala them bigilo, or wherever you go, potholes. The story is about individual success, not collective success as a nation. Some of your favorite is Mayala Dimbalo. Now they balama egati rest because we want at the hospital. Because we don't even have medicine. But listen, guys, the government is not going to give it to us without us demanding it as citizens. Without us demanding it as citizens, and we have so many ways to demand it. And especially as media personnel. Now we're going to be tagged as enemies of the state. That's what they used to call us. Enemies of the state. Journalists. They know publish, they know you had, Turi Dekam. They also got judo. But it's not about that. It's also when Trump said that our country was a seed hole, Africa was a seed hole. Saga laman. Ñu yet ñu mer. Def ñu saga. Tuba bi naka la ñu saga. But at the end of the day, lu ñu wax was true. So if we never yange gis ni yange big people with kids on their back, women, young women. The last time we went in 2005, they were joy. I cried. Because I see young ladies like you guys over there, driving expensive vehicles, getting their degrees, doing well. Manyo fini, sister buma giste, wala bro buma giste, munge stroke. They lose hope in life. I'm like, wow. Lumunli, they know we are human beings. The Tuabs are not better than us. Some of us do better than the Tuabi over there. They come to us to ask questions. They come to us to learn from us. They're human beings like us. So at the end of the day, come Luma Ware, they can be whether you are a journalist, whether you are working in the government, be responsible and take care of people's resources. Why we have to demand it. Wherever you find yourself, you have to demand it. Always stand up and fight for it. Just a short story, tell them on a COVID test, right? I'm not going to move on like that. But Maggie said, come here. Come here. When I just know you put through test, but he's like, Munala Potefan, why they my daughter? I mean, come on, man. I was upset. Because Munana Fata, Mabinda Faluneka, you know what I mean? As a media person, I went to the other place, I saw the process, how it's going. Why we have to be
change starts with us as citizens. For Munadem, be the change that you want to see in this world. That's what we need to do. And that means we have to obey the law first. We have to be responsible ourselves first. To ourselves, hold ourselves accountable before you hold anybody else accountable. I hope that is valuable information. I appreciate you guys. I mean, this is a lesson for me as well. And I'm glad that I'm able to share my little story with you guys. But I learn more from you guys. I'm more motivated today. And I promise again, Pasman, I will support you guys as much as I can.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But then we would have Mrs. Aissatou Jallo Ba, right? Madam Ba.
Jallo Ba.
Yes. Yes, and she will do the vote of thanks on behalf of the Gambian Talents TV. But before the vote of thanks, Aisha, I would want to say a very good thanks to our uncle here, Mr. Balder. Thank you very much for coming and also joining your brother to come here with us. We are really grateful because they spend time at semester, right? So, and to our own son, we are saying thank you very much for coming. It's well appreciated, okay? Whenever Daddy is in Gambia, tell him to come, okay? Here is his place. So, Aissatou Jallo, we might just stand and give the vote of
practice what they preach, huh?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I want everyone to clap and clap and clap and clap. Big one. But guess what, I knew that he won't disappoint. He's a fuller. And bar for that matter. So I knew it was going to be a great one.
Yeah.
Mr. Balde, definitely we cannot thank you enough. This is one of the best lectures in 2021. Like he said, never give up, never lose hope. Be responsible wherever you find yourself. Don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. See him as a mentor. He's a mentor. I'm so inspired right now. And I believe we are so motivated. Tomorrow, we will be better interns, better staffs, better citizens. Like you said, the change has to start within. And inshallah, we are going to practice what we preach. We always ask media practitioners, we have the platform to preach every day. But do we really practice what we preach? But like your statement, these are few hours that we spend together. Honestly, I believe if we really follow this, if we make best use of this, we will be great citizens like you. So once again, thank you very much on behalf of Gambian Talents TV. We are so grateful and we want more people like Mr. Balde. Gambia, we want more people like Mr. Balde. It's not about the amount of money you give to people, but the time, the knowledge, the wisdom that you spread right now. It's more than money. You didn't give us the money, but you are showing us the way how to get it. A lot of young people are desperate. A lot of young people are desperate. A lot of young people in this country are hopeless. A lot of them don't have the patience to wait. But like Fatou Samba and Mr. Diouf always said, longevity is very important in a place. And you even mentioned it in your statement, patient. Patient. I will urge all young people to be patient. To be patient and to be responsible. It's not okay. Sometimes I think you should not wait for your boss to tell you what to do. If you sign up for any contract or whatsoever, you should be able to take up that responsibility without being told. So Mr. Balde, thank you very much and we hope to see you. Anytime you are in the Gambia now, you are part of the Gambian Talents TV. May Allah reward you and add more knowledge, more wisdom and more great things on your way. We are so grateful. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And guess what? You were talking about only the time. Yesterday we were at his house and we ate a delicious food and with a lot of money as well. We're so proud of the family. But Mr. Balde, now we are in the era of Zoom, we are in the era of social media. We will be having classes often, and I am saying if that can happen, we will be very grateful because we normally project our work and we want every day for us to learn. I always hear people on social media will say, Gambian talents, tele halaira. And I feel so proud of myself being part of those halai that are developing this country. And with the guidance of people like you, we can move Gambia to another stage that we all want. So we just allow you, Mr. Juf.
I have business cards that I want to distribute.
No problem.
No problem.
I can help.
You can have.
Yeah.
Yes.
My wife is giving me all her cards.
Yes. And by the way, we are live. So Gambians in Seattle and Gambians all over.
Want to reach out through there. You know, if you have questions.
He have a business for the BALDER family real estate. He owns a company in the United States of America where he sells land and all that. So anybody that wants to have a land and all that, Gambians are having land owning their own lands in the United States of America through the BALDER family real estate. So thank you very much. Thank you. So
you see my wife on the other cards.
Yes,
you know,
and
she's in the business as well.
you would all watch their story on the Gambian Talents YouTube page. So all the people that are watching on Facebook, YouTube, just know that their story will be out very soon. We have a very nice story about them. So
which one?
Mr. Juf, just check Aisha if Mr. Juf is on the
Hello,
line.
Mr. Juf.
Well, I'm
Yes.
here and thank you very much, Mauke. Much appreciated. Denkanala guy, like I always say, Denkanala guy, and I appreciate. I heard you pledging your support.
Absolutely.
And I am grateful for that pledge because I am running this solo without any support. You might have listened sometime back to my interview with Pandel by maybe without talking about this internship. There is no support, no sponsorship from anywhere, and nobody is paid a single dime to do it. I definitely need support in giving that me. Like I said, I always have over 100 applications. I would have just get the vote of that. We'll be doing an interview this coming Tuesday.
Right.
We can only take 15 or 20 at a time. What happened to the other 85 who are out there? They are vulnerable, they might be engaged in crimes and other things, and idle mind makes them do a lot of things. So if I have more support, I will be able to do bigger things and support more people. But here it is. Thank you very much.
You can count on my support. You can count on my support. You know, I'm going to smoke good so I'm not going to forget anytime.
We want people like Mr. Balder that empower young people that are hopeless.
Thank you. Mr. Balder, your final message before we just say bye-bye.
Well,
do you want to say something? Huh?
Say something?
You want to say something?
Let's have your son say a word.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear. I'm just so just say something. Maybe his training stories that you really.
The floor is yours. Say something.
Some of them are here. They all want to Babylon. You know, they all want to go to America, huh? And you just came here and so you're going to put it this sweater. Some of them are here, they want to have that goal, even if it is whatsoever we would call it, right? So you can tell them. Some of them think that, you know, if you don't travel, you cannot make anything or you cannot do anything.
Yeah, that's not true. America's crazy. There's a lot of things going on. So you just gotta focus. Stay on your own path. Don't get distracted by all the outside stuff. There's a lot of outside stuff going on. That's about it.
Alright, you proud of Daddy?
It's crazy. You want to stay in the Gambia?
Yeah, Gambia is nice.
That's no problem.
It's better than America. You guys don't know. It's crazy.
Alright. So you're proud of your daddy? Okay. So, Uncle? Yaiba. Alright. So thank you, Mr. Balder.
It's possible when I'm recruited from the uncle right there to come in and do some work, right?
Yes, no problem.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Since yesterday you've been great. Pasman, I must tell you, you have a great team out here, man. I'm very proud of these young people out here. As you said, you guys are the future leaders of this country. So you make it or you break it. But I'm seeing young people of this country are not resting on their laurels, meaning sitting on their buttocks and waiting for handouts. You are out there looking for stuff, getting education, getting a lot of stuff. I'm very, very encouraged about that. That's why sometimes when I look at the leadership in this country, I always want to go to the politics of it, because you cannot separate the two. Like everything that we do here is affected by policy making and all that kind of stuff. So it's very difficult to separate the two. But if you see these young people as leaders, you should pay attention to these young people. Imagine if we have bigger training skills, like a journalism school like this, right? Not the only one that we have, GP people going on and all that kind of stuff. You have a skill training like this. Maybe government can support Pa Usman Diouf in what he is doing, right? I mean, you support him as a grant to promote this. I mean, this can be a source of employment. In fact, it is a source of employment, right? So government, if individual citizens, if individual citizens like Pa Usman or Gambia Talents Promoter can do this, why can't the government support it? Create the environment. Kinga joko tax break, what even ga joko a plot of land. I'm not trying to. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
It's a network.
No, I wasn't even trying to cut you short, but this thing makes me emotional. I know the session was finished. You talked about us not separating, being able to separate the politics of it. And because we are live, I want to make this clear to the world. I have knocked on, and we have knocked on, this institution is run by young people, 30 years and below. All of them, 30 years and below. And you can see the professionalism here, and the skills and what is happening, versus a lot of places you go to in the country. And I was offended particularly when sometimes last year at the start of the COVID, when the Vice President stood at McCarthy Square and said, you can already see I'm emotional. When the Vice President stood there and said the young people are lazy and they don't want to work. That is not the young people I know.
Absolutely.
These young people operate 24/7. Government talents operate 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And it's these young people that are operating. Very soon you will see the night shift coming in. Very soon. You will see them coming in. They sleep over here, working. The morning shift takes over. As they leave, the afternoon shift comes. Exactly as what is happening in the United States. They are willing to learn, they are willing to work, and they are willing to do things. If you wanted them to come out for 5 days, just to come and lift bags of rice and sugar for you to politicize the COVID, and as a result, you label as our young people are not willing to work. I was particularly offended by that statement from the Vice President. And I know it is true, because you have seen it right now. And they need to empower institutions like Gambian Talent. We have knocked on every single government door. We just had a meeting with the Minister of Youth and Sport not long ago. From all the institutions that are responsible, the Youth Empowerment Project, when we go to the development partners of the country, from the UN, the WHO, all of them, EU, they refer us back to yes. We have knocked on yes door multiple times. They politicize most of what they do. They are supporting this project. We've gone to institutions like BIZ, we've gone to NEDI, we have gone to the National Youth Council. They will all kill us with big talk, but nothing ever came out of it. And not only them, but other institutions. So whether private or otherwise, it doesn't matter what your difference with Pa Usman is, it doesn't matter how you see Pa Usman. What Pa Usman is doing is the bigger picture, is what you should look at. Musa Dahaba that is sitting there is from Nyani Dogo. He is a disabled person that is being empowered. Ibu Nketa is from Nyomi, a farmer. He just came back. He was in Nyomi for 3 months. He is now an intern supervisor. He was in Nyomi for 3 months doing his farming. He just returned back to North Africa class, and he's an employee now, not even an intern. He came in as an intern. He's now an employee. The same thing with Mohamed Baigarni. He is currently in Dakar, Senegal, attending university, a Gambian. He is an intern for Gambian Talents, and he is doing his internship from there. Filifo Faye is currently in Basse, an intern. He was arrested not long ago from Basse. He's also doing his internship. His last report was during the New Year's when he reported live what was happening from Basse. So we are training these young people who have been through the pathway, the Sheikh Fars and others who have been through the pathway. They are not here right now. We are talking life productively and changing life positively, and it's something we are very proud of. So because it is life, I call on the government, I call on the private sector, I call on all citizens to support this project and projects similar to this, so that the Gambia can move forward. Instead of just criticizing government, we are providing alternative solutions. So in fact, what government should have been doing, we are doing it, and because this is
slide. I just wanted to take this opportunity to throw that in there, and you can see me being emotional to some extent. Thank you.
No, absolutely, Pastor Man. Yeah. Absolutely. No, you know I'm always passionate about this, especially about young people, because I know this country cannot move forward without the young people of this country. You're the future leaders of this country. Our pride is in this country. Any leader, any serious leader that walks around this country, that drives around this country, and you see the amount of young people that are walking around without employment. There were 11 million euros that were given to, you know, for I don't know, the backward returnees or whatever, to create institutions. Where is that money? So this is why when we talk, they say, oh, they're enemies of the state. No, some of us don't need anything from the government. What we're asking the government to do, instead of the president buying vehicles, millions of dollars, and giving it to an individual, or driving around, build some institutions or support institutions like this for the young people to get trained. Tomorrow when they find themselves outside, they'll be able, 48% of GDP here. GDP here, 48% of it is from outside, it's from remittances. That's what Gambians are contributing. We have patriotic Gambians who have the full muna dem ci aduna bi dañ dé halat back. We want the government to focus on our young people, especially, you know, I met the youth minister a couple of days ago, you know, met him over at the ceremony. You know, I didn't get to talk to him. He was one of us, and these are the things that I want him to focus on. I want him to focus on building institutions. Listen, we have the talent. The most difficult talent to get or to develop is the human talent, is the human resources. We have the human resources already. So we say Asia, China and other places, you see all these American multi-million corporations go over there and build institutions over there, build factories over there, because they have the human resources. We have the human resources here. So kula wane hale fini bugu ñoo liggéey wala dañ lazy, waxul la dëgg. Waxul la dëgg. Not the, as Pausman said, not the young people that I have seen in this country. Every single day, every one of you could have been partying in Paramaribo right now. Maybe looking for a semester or something, whatever. But here you are, learning from a small institution that started out. This is what we want the government to support. Instead of going out and distributing all that money somewhere else, this is what we want them to do. We want them to build institutions. If private citizens like Pa Usman can pioneer something like this, I have added respect for you, Pa Usman, and the Gambia Talent Promoters. Because I see what you're doing. And what you're doing is very, 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 very valuable. It's very, very valuable. As I mentioned again, I'll pledge my support. Pa Usman, obviously, you know where I am. So we will work together to make sure that an institution like this continue to grow. Okay?
Thank you. Yes. I think I want to say this in Wolof. Just I have a text message from our YouTube channel. Somebody just asked me a question. Mine Gambian Talent luta ni yene struggle. Ngur helpun len individuals helpun, and I just want to respond to that. We having support from people like you, Tayudego Komomuwahli. There are genuine Gambians that want to help, but I think somebody also asked me about the COVID-19 funds. You media houses say apply, all other media houses. Amnen Harris. Gambian Talent is the only media house that I know, that some might know, applied for this COVID-19 funds. We could have applied like any other. We have worked so hard for this COVID-19. We Red Cross. Every day in the report, we Red Cross, ambulance, every other day at night, we have this show called Coffee Stroke. Every night, and they them from sometimes from Birkama, them sometimes Banjul. The one you on me and soon cameras the Vanica live, the one and Monica happen. So policy or PIU rating it in you want to call. You them fake and you send Birkiri light till and you do the coffee because time will light today Bantala moy gene na light amul te ñi seen kër so we try to wane li nga xamne ñi ci nekkul di ko day gis every day Ministry of Health minister bi sa daf ñu xamé be until this minute so ñu gisé dafa né ana Aïssatou ana diw because every day dañ dem ci ministry bi di wane reports yi nga xamne ministry bi ñu ngi ko gëné we ask uncomfortable questions. I remember Aïssatou Koli mu latte minister bi you guys are not serious minister bi la wax lool because guys dañ dé ñëw fofu nonu ñu né journalist né dañoo start at 2 o'clock journalist ñu ñëw fofu nonu depuis 12 ñu nekk foofu sometimes 6 7 COVID-19 bi du start ku update bi so ñu ne la yéen ñoo gën a make at risk because ñun Gambian Talents amul moto amul anything so sometimes ñu su ñëwee foofu noonu dañoo nekk di toog di taxawaalu sometimes lekk sa doo ko def so ba suñ liggéey la ñun ñu ngi sacrifice so yéen ñi ñu ne lu tax yéen apply leen COVID-19 funds lu ma just wax fii moo nekk Gambien si nga xam ne ñoom ñooy seetaan la dem noonu ñun mun nañoo knock on government man suma laameñ bi wax rek la mun naa dem ma wax Adama Barrow ma support ko ma support certain like political parties but that is not Gambian Talents that is not us because sooy support nit rek dangaa nekk di wax lu ko neex doo wax loo xam ne moo nekk dëgg moo nekk yoon so ñi nga xam ne ñoo ñooy seetaan ñoom leen bëgg ñu support suñu supporté mu yomba barki démba ñun da nekk si airport bi ba 11 12 1 people ñu ñoo seetaan ñoom xam ne ba 11 half past 12 ñu ngi si biir airport bi ñu ngi wane ñëpp ñibbi neen semestre yëpp ñibbi teen and right now ñu ngi dégg ne am na 2 semesters according to news bu ma get a read ne am na ñoo xam ne ñu ngi jógee Angleterre ñu ngi am COVID-19 and man suma family ñeneen si gars yi ñu ngi gis gars yi ngay xuloo si page bi because ñeneen ñu ma wax demal si biir post bi nga interview and my family are like ñii ñu ngi at risk and all that but ñun dañ bëgg a génnee everything loo xam ne Gambie dañ ko soxla Gambie nekkul di ko gis rawatina ñu nekk si diaspora there is so much loo xam ne mu ngi nëbbatu si biir dëkk bi loo xam ne kenn wanewut ko we go all the way to Brikama we go all the way to Basse just recently suma team ñu ngi nekk on Basse not even with the president but on our own mission ñun toogul ñu xaar président mu dem too or political party mu dem too ñu dem last 2 months ago maa ngi woon provinces dem naa ba dem Medina Saba in Sénégal dem neen fu mel ni Farafenni dem neen Bara dem neen Basse dañ ko wiiree dawal ko ñëw all the way back to Kombo so many places yoo xam ne ñu bari dañ ko neglect am na ñu bari tey ñu nekk from Dobo am na ñoo xam ne ñu jóge from Kiang ñi jóge from Jara xamul lan moo nekk di go si seen places yi seen mbokk yi bu ko nee naa vidéo but amul crédit ñun as a media house dañ ko seet ne it is necessary ko ñun ñu wane loolu président bi su demee tool lan la ma waxal nit yi mën a wax rek but ñeneen ñi nga xam ne bëgg nañoo wax te amul ku leen naa waxal ñun ñooy seen baat so I want every Gambian koo xam ne bëgg na Gambia mu dem koo xam ne bëgg na Gambia mu move to another level bu mu xool Pa Ousmane bu mu xool Fatou bu mu xool Aïssatou na xool Gambia soo xoolee Gambia nga xam ne Gambia moo nekk Gambian Talents we have naka la from all nationality suma cameraman right now mu ngi already airport di ma xaar Salimatu Bamura akula ñu am fi Mariama Sisawa Socé la ñu am fi Aïssatou Diallo Pël la ñu am fi I think Binta Jiba Joola la we have all nationality in this institution te suñoo apply xoolu ndax yow mus ngaa dem school nga musuloo dem school man at first dama daan am concern honestly maa ngi on TV ma ne Pa Ousmane mi ne naa ma ne ko danga ngay employé somebody koo xam ne demut school amul paper amul grade 1 amul grade 2 nga employé ko mi ne kooku mun a moo def journalist kooku mun a moo nekk di làkk olof di synthétise nit ki nekkul only ku dem school ku am paper mooy mun a def journalism mu ñëw toog ñu am somebody koo xam ne mu ngi si institution bi woon dafa am mental problem or psychological problem or whatsoever I would call it ma ñëw di ko interview ma ne Mr Diouf ma text ko ma ne ko kii wéru de dégg nga kii nu ma waxee ak man ba pare kooku mu xool ma mi ne ma man wéru ma man ñoruma he said that or she said that it can be any of those so ma ne Mr Diouf kii mi ne la moo dafa am mental problem day toog di dee waxtu yow danga ngay employé ko mi ne jox ko chance soo ko joxutee chance keneen mu bàyyi ko ñun ñu bari ñu nekk America ñun this mental disability people ñoom la ñoo liggéeyal te dara terewul ñu ngi liggéeyal gars yi te gars yi xamul ñu dóorul ñu and I was like loolu make na sense there but still believe ma so there was this day man ma génna ma bàyyi fi kooku nekk na fi di caméra ki am problème nekk na fi nekk secretary nekk na fi the same time ñu bàyyi ko muy manage office bi there was a time I know all the people are watching they ñu maa xool yéen ñi yëpp ak maa xool kenn du xam kan la because doo ko gis nga fa ne dafa am problème dafa aspiré su ñëwee office soo ko ne nga war a dem programme ne ëllëg teel leen maa wa programme ma xam su ko fi mu mun a solo dina def sometimes certain things yow di nga wane waaye lu tax mu def lii but sometimes yow da nga amaze dama am suma benn yaay ma ne ko soo rombee dama si office nga ne ko ne dama bëgg ku nga jox ma seen caméra kooku ñëw mu ne ko jox ma seen benn caméra mu ne ko yow yaa tudda naka kooku moo ko turam mu ne ko man mënuma laa jox caméra Fatou nekk fi kooku ne ko xay man maa yaayi Fatou maa ko jur si biir jox ma caméra mu wan ko suma nataal ak moom and everything mu ne waaw waaye man Fatou waxuma loolu duma la ko mën a jox kooku mu ñëw after ma ñëw ma ne ko xëy naka nga def ñu jaamalante mu ne ma am na ko fi ñëw mu ne ma jox ko kam ma ne ko da nga ko waroon a jox suma yaa mu ne waxuloo ma woon loolu soo ma ko waxee ma jox ko ma ne kon kii soo ko joxutoon chance fan la moo nekk and I can tell you right now beneen media house moo ko employ she came to me and tell me dama nekkoon fii intern but keneen tànn na ma may liggéey foofu as a camera person ma ne ko camera person de mu ne ma waaw man camera person la lii laa fi jànga and right now kooku mu génn na off the street Mr. Diouf is creating so many young people ñu nekk off the street man liggéey naa Ministry of Information 11 good years am naa opportunities yu bari but ñun young people su ñoo liggéey ak ay mag dañu dee bëgg a daaneel mag yi ñooy nekk si kaw waaye Pa Ousmane anybody can come mu ne la leader anybody can come ba pare bëggul yëfi defante si institution man sometimes dama di dem airport nit rusloo ma ne ma laa interview parce que borom xëy na am na issue bu mu jotee ak Paa nga rusloo ma Mr. Diouf ne di def leen seen liggéey dem na ngeen approach ko nice and some people are like hey dama fa ne Paa daf la wax about me only Mr. Diouf ne gis nga liggéey bi do it and do it right ñun every day daf ñu dee motivate daf ñu dee naka la change ñun fii du dee only jàngal young people on journalism we teach them ethics naka ngay waxee kii mag la naka ngay waxee diw soo interview sa papa doo ko wax uncle soo interview sa bàjjen doo ko wax bàjjen danga ko ooyee si turam ba soo leen génnee behind the scenes lii nga war a def soo ñëwee sa poxotaan danga ko war a naka la wat soo ñëwee sa mèche bi dafa lii warloo sol slippers at work we tell you because you can come Adama Barrow mën nga toog mu ñëw fi keneen ak keneen we teach young people so many things that we are proud of so Mr. Balde man dama kontaan rek li nga wax ne dang ñoo support because du dee faral du ko dee gaaw a dégg so man saa bu ko déggee rek dama dee kontaan dama dee nekk beneen faatu because Gambia du ñuy faral di support we knock in all doors ci Gambia bi every day su ma toogee ci TV bi dama dee wéyaan support us because saa bu ñu nit supporté ida benn cash power nga ñu dinaat am na ko njëriñ so we are saying thank you very much su dee wax la rek neex na sax kontaan nañ we are so happy.
Thank you very much. As I said again, thank you so much. I pledge my support, and I said earlier, my words are my bond. So you cannot be more than your words. Bausman, I work with him, and we will continue to support the Gambia Talent Promotion. I mean, the government is supposed to support institutions like this, but they perhaps would not do it because when you criticize them, they see you as an enemy. Why don't you do this more to oversee? To make sure that we hold our elected officials accountable. That's our responsibility. We don't see it as a partisan thing. That is our responsibility. It's in primary duty. You want to make sure that we ask the government uncomfortable questions. They're not. We're not going to sit down there and sugarcoat them. More time, apply either, because we were worried about compromising, right? Compromising our ethics and our own independence. The government, that's why they were doing that. You don't have to, give us money. Just create the environment for us, and we'll be able to do it. So they made the National Assembly. Each National Assembly member has a budget. But what I would recommend for the media, the government needs us as much as we need them. Okay? COVID-19, living media, they cover. Soon cover out, they will not be able to disseminate it out. So if they didn't show up, boycott the damn thing and go. Leave. Next time they do it, because go to another person you have never promote, never fight. The government is supposed to pay for those takes. Because you were there with your machines, you were there with your transportation, with your everything else. Why? Why would the United Nations or international events, they give you some transportation allowance? They give you £50. Or sometimes depending on what kind of event it is. So why would the government not do that? Soon you're going to fair, they criticize government all the time. It is our duty to criticize you. So we promote them and establish your own thing. It's not our role to promote you. It's our role to hold you accountable. That is our duty. Why we have to demand it. And hopefully I know there are Gambians out there who would support something like this. Sometimes nyakahanga. Because Gambians a lot of times if you create your own business, they think it's all about you. Unless you kiss yangi support. So man, I tell them, even if you come to buy a house from me, I'll donate $500 to this institution. So if somebody comes to me and come to me through Gambia Talent Promotion and buys a house from me, I'll pledge to support this. I can support up to $1,000, right? Up to $1,000 support this institution to promote something like this. Japale mama japale. So that's why I say the Gambians, support your own local businesses, support your own people, and they will support you as well. We have a masjid in Seattle that we contribute a lot of money. I mean, we can do this. This is very, very encouraging. It's very, very encouraging, and then I'll start sharing this to other platforms as well. And I would do my best to support you guys.
Thank you. So, what can you say that women in Jerusalem can touch you on Semester Avenue? We're there. Semester Avenue,
If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonics Money Transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonics Money Transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
soo bëggee jot xaalis bàyyeekoo UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland ak àddina wërngal képp, Supersonics Money Transfer ñu ngi ci ànd ak yéen. ak yónneekaay xaalis bu gën a màgg ci Gambia, mën nga jot xaalis fépp fi nga ne bàyyeekoo Kartong ba Koina te doo ci am benn jafe-jafe. waaw mën nga jot xaalis bàyyeekoo ci sa ay mbokka ak am di jàmma nekk ci UK, Europe, US, Canada, Switzerland ak àddina wërngal képp ak suñu yónneekaay xaalis bu màgg bi nga xam ne dafa wóor, gaaw te noppale fii si biir Gambia. Supersonics Money Transfer ñu ngi ci ñetti fukk ak ñeent dëkk si biir Afrika ngir jox leen melowaay yu gën si jotum xaalis bi nga xam ne kenn du ko laam-laamee. saytu leen ñu si Google Play Store wala App Store ngir mun a bindu si suñ app bii di Supersonics Money Transfer app ndax ngeen mun a bànneexu si suñ money transfer services yi ay mbégte rek la ak Supersonics.